Hit it, boys.
Well, there's a lot of towns where you could go where a man could hang his hat.
Well, they got micro brews and mega stores, but we ain't down with that.
Well, there's a place I know right up the road where the beers are always cold,
Where a beat-up truck and a fishing pole are worth their weight in gold.
Going downtown Radioville, where you can kick back or have you the craziest thrills. You probably won't learn much, but maybe you will. We're going down Radioville.
Now let's check in on the boys and see what they got themselves into this week.
Oh, boy.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Hey.
We got a live one for you tonight. That music was kind of putting me to sleep. And
Yeah.
we know the intro is hilarious. We're awesome. Thank you very much. That was a lot of fun,
It
but
was a
everybody
lot of
just
fun.
relax, you know.
Everyone chill. No, don't chill.
So yeah, come on in, tell your friends it's time to get started on Radioville for this evening. We'll be with you the next couple of hours, covering local scandals, international scandals of all types, and then like some making fun of, dumb videos probably, because it always eventually devolves into that. We get tired. Like, let's laugh at a fat guy. But,
Just fine.
For a while, we're going to uphold some level of
journalistic ethics,
integrity. Yeah. So here we go, guys.
Yeah.
This is a magazine. I came across. Let's see. I'm going to look at the date in a second here because listeners of the show know I don't really be seeing. But okay, this is May 3rd. Or May and June. Sorry, May and June of 2023. So I picked this up a few months ago when we weren't on the air. And flip right fast. What do I see? Picture
What do you
of
got?
This big white ass. It's my old band teacher. His name is Brayer Teague, as you can see there. Now, this is the cover of Downers Grove magazine we're looking at, which I was not aware was a thing. Downers Grove, of course, being my hometown where I grew up and moved back to later in life. This is a town in Illinois that we all know and love around here. And this man was the longtime band director at our local high school. I was a member of this program.
Yeah, you were in band.
I was. And let me tell you something. When I saw this, I had a visceral reaction because I don't like this guy. I never did. I have a bunch of reasons I'm going to list for you.
Sure.
But he, in my opinion, does not deserve to have some sort of grand walk-off. And I don't want him going into his golden years with this like sense of accomplishment, walking around town with
respect.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like unearned respect.
So what this says here is Brayer Teague's storied career. Now, we're going to take a look at a couple of little excerpts from this, but I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about this guy. He is not a good teacher. Now, you know the old adage, those who can't do
Teach.
Right. So he's a prime example of this. He would fancy himself as some sort of a drummer. He would once in a while get on a drum kit, this guy, and just look at him. You can tell by looking at him. He's one of those people that he just always looks uncoordinated and seems like he's barely hanging on, you know what I mean? And would get on there once in a while and play
Let's look at a close-up of him. There we go.
Yeah, there's a close-up of his face. So, he would get on a drum kit once in a while, and you could just tell this guy's not a musician. He can't play. He was a cornball. He sucked, So
just the basic and then
Now,
I know the type.
They're going to talk a lot in this magazine about all his accomplishments in education. Can I tell you one thing he did not accomplish in his career was I don't think he ever actually educated anyone on music in any way. I think he spent all his time kind of on a PR campaign. And I think what he wanted was to end up as a director over at Northwestern or something like that.
Sure.
So he was building on paper the best, most impressive resume he could. And he was focusing on things like inclusivity. We want to have the largest marching band in the state, which I think this fucking idiot actually achieved. And here's the problem with that. It's 200 children outside walking around with instruments. Why would that be good? What, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then he made it a fucking requirement. So if you wanted to play all I wanted to do was jazz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I played
you jazzy.
Right, because I was bebopping around and I wanted a place that I could fit in. And so this guy, if you wanted to be in that, then you had to be in concert band. And if you had to be in concert band, you had to be in marching band. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I'm not that much different now than I was then. Can you imagine
Me in marching band
being forced to cheer for a football team, walking around like an idiot in an 1800s military uniform for some reason? I'm still doing that. And you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
With this asshole leading the way the entire time.
I mean, look at him.
All right, so that even says in here, here's a little taste of what we went through back then in this article. It says here, after each game, the football team would stick around to listen to the band play the alma mater, Teague explained. The team would raise their helmets. The band would say, get ready, we love our team. And the football players would parrot back, we love our band.
Oh, that's wholesome.
Do you know what this was like, dude? Oh,
No.
my God. I mean, now that was trauma alone. We'll get to some other things later. But just going through this guy, the other high school in our fucking town called Downers Grove, Illinois, the other high school was Downers Grove South High School. Their band director was like an actual jazz guy. He could play.
Yeah?
He had gigged.
Oh.
He was a player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, their band and our band would do a combined concert once a year. And the last time
The other guys were way better.
dude, it was like, I mean, this guy, it was around Christmas time. Fucking Teague here had us playing songs like, and I'm not shitting you, he literally had us play My Two Front Teeth.
Ooh.
They're doing Mingus, you know what I mean? They're doing all this cool shit. He has a and he's up there like this. It's a jazz, you know.
Jesus
it's like,
Christ.
dude.
Two front teeth.
Very good.
Dude,
okay,
high
so-
level shit.
I left that. The last time I did that, I was beside myself. I was literally weeping on the way home in embarrassment. My parents were trying to.
I actually believe that.
My parents were trying to tell me, no, you did good. You played a good solo and whatever, something. I was just like, we looked like assholes on stage. That's the worst feeling in the world. And this guy forced me to look like a fucking asshole in public over and over for my entire high school career till I finally quit because of him in fucking junior year, which in my family's a music family, generation after generation.
Yeah.
Do you know how crazy it is for me to quit band? My dad told me that when I was quitting, my dad said, a little piece of me is going to die with this decision. That's how serious
really?
Band is at my house, you know?
My God.
Well, when I was a child.
Yeah. But I mean,
so-
it makes sense.
So
That's what
for
you were
me to
into.
hate this fucking program, this is what I'm telling you, okay? This guy would spend all of his time getting kids to like, you've been playing trumpet for 7 years and you need a little more work on your major scales. These people who were never going to play, never going to do anything in music, and all the people that could actually play were completely ignored, basically, other than when they wanted us to win them awards at the Purdue Jazz Festival.
For sure.
When they wanted us to do that. I probably still have a few in a glass case that this idiot jerks off to, you know. But so when they wanted us to make them look good, then they'd send us out. Oh, look, we have a jazz combo. Cool. I haven't talked to him in 4 months, but here you go. So this guy, on top of all of that shit, he was way more concerned with getting involved in the social lives of the kids in band. And he had like a core group of like a Stasi network that would fucking tattle on everybody.
Oh, yeah.
They would spy. I'm not shitting
Really?
you. Yep. They would spy. One time we were going on a trip, and me and my friend Jimmy Williamson, might as well just use real names, we were going to bring weed.
Of course.
Of course, right. And we were going to bring weed in a Game Boy. We had a whole fucking genius plan. You know what I mean?
nice.
We were going to take it apart. We're going to fucking fit little things of weed in there and stuff and
Hell
whatever.
yeah.
So a bunch of joints. I don't know what our plan was. He fucking knew about it somehow. He fucking, dude. And it was like a tight-lipped operation too. Maybe somebody overheard us at lunch or something, or was fucking actively spying on us. I don't know. But he calls us in and goes, "I know about your plan.
Let me see your Game Boy.
To bring your Game Boy or bring weed in your Game Boy." And we were just like, we're like, what the fuck?
No, it wasn't.
No, yeah, of course we're like, oh, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, so stuff like that. He had all his little like minions and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what the hell was that? Some
know.
big banging sound. Is
Yeah,
he
somebody just-
here?
Yeah.
But no. So
He just got shot outside.
So he had all that going on, and he would get, like I said, in my opinion, inappropriately involved with students and
Outside of the school.
in conversation only is really what I'm saying about him so far. And he's in like talking to people about their relationships, say, or he said when he was getting divorced, he sat the whole fucking band down and told us for like 40 minutes while he cried about his divorce.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, so I'm like, I'm not shitting you, dude. I could go on and on about how weird this fucking guy was and how unpleasant it was. And so he also,
I mean, he looks like a pompous prick to me.
he's a pompous. He's a manipulative.
Yeah. That's what I mean, just from looks.
Passive aggressive. He's the definition of passive aggressive. He would do stuff.
Oh, he looks. I mean, that's what I would actually guess, just based on appearance. Honestly.
He another time he spied on me. I was
In
doing
the locker room.
It was a classic kid situation. I was doing impressions of him, and
Can you do one now?
no, it's been a long time, but I was just probably referencing something that like. But our impression of him was basically like our equity characters from the other day. It was just very soft and so he found out that I'd been doing impressions of him, had a fucking meeting with me in an office to tell me that I'd hurt his feelings. Okay, now that I'm an adult and I look back on all this, I go, what in the fuck was going on around this place?
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, he was like, whatever. So.
All right, but he's getting his final farewell.
So he's getting his final farewell, and he's leaving as a lauded and celebrated educator. When I can tell you firsthand, he didn't educate shit. All he did was try to make himself look good, make this program, put this shine on it, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it says here, and this is the only other thing I want to read from this article. Sure. They're talking to Glenn Williams, the recently retired fine arts chairman at Downers Grove South High School. Okay. This might have been that guy I was talking about. Williams also highlighted Teague's advocacy for inclusivity in music education. Teague served on the Illinois Music Education Association's board for 12 years, and he moved to the association towards inclusive thinking, hosting panel discussions on diversity and equity well before others were thinking about those things. Now I'm like, that's real fucking easy to do at a 98% white school. You know what I mean? And like, this is what I'm talking about. This whole article is like this. What did he do? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Did they not let black people in the band before he got there?
Yeah.
What does this mean? Any of this?
It's just a bunch of smoke blowing and fucking self-congratulatory bullshit.
I'll tell you what it means. He had a bunch of people in a band that couldn't play fucking music. Okay. And the program was fucking terrible. They were included, though. That's what's important. We sounded like fucking assholes, like I said, everywhere we went. And we went all over. Yeah. And just made fools of ourselves. Yeah. Over and over, because this guy needed everybody to be a part of it. Which is crazy.
It's insane.
Okay.
So now, somebody in the chat says Teague had a very creepy network of spies when I was there, too. So this is some confirmation that he was employing student spies.
Oh, dude.
And a network of students.
Everybody knows this. That was there, yeah.
That was, yeah.
So now, that sets the scene. So now I ask, what the hell was really going on around that place?
Okay.
Well, let's pull up that first article.
Sure.
Now, most people who are familiar at all with this situation, again, talking about this guy who's trying to ride off into the sunset and walk his dog around Denburn Woods, Brer. Yes, I know a lot about you. And you know what else? I know a lot about what went on around that school with some of your close colleagues. I've talked to a lot of the people involved. I've got all kinds of things that I don't know if I can say, but I know about you. And Brer, if you see this, this is your worst nightmare. You remember me? This is your worst nightmare coming true right now. You are not going to live your golden years as a celebrated member of this community. I will make sure of it. Okay, so
first article up. What do we got?
This is his right-hand man, close friend and colleague for the vast majority of his career as a teacher, William Miller, who has been accused by female after female after female student that they presided over of having sexual relationships with,
With high
underage
school
or high
kids.
school students, right?
Yeah.
Now, he's not been charged criminally. I don't know why. Depending on who you talk to, the cops can't or won't pursue
Yeah.
it, and some of it is
very weird. Always.
Some of it is because none of this came to light. I will tell you right now, I'm not afraid of saying this, I don't think. I knew that he was having sexual relationships with students while I was a student. And
This guy, this
Bill
William
Miller, right, who was Teague's hand-picked
Yes.
fucking right-hand guy, right?
Yeah.
So I knew.
And yeah, let me just say, you don't work closely with somebody for that many years without knowing what they're up to.
It's hard. It's hard to believe.
Very
right?
hard to imagine.
Yeah.
This is the Penn State thing
Right.
with Sandusky and
And we got a mini Penn State situation right down the road from Radioville here, and I don't like it.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
and we're exposing it.
And this
That's
guy,
what's
this is what it just makes me fucking sick to see this.
Oh, yeah.
Here, look at his wonderful, look at all the stuff he did. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, how about this? So, I know for a. Can I say it? I don't know. I knew. I
you
knew.
gotta be careful.
I knew about this stuff when I went there, and I knew personally, and was for a short time close to one of the people that would swear to God that her truth is she had a sexual relationship. How about that?
Yeah.
With Bill Miller. It happened. I don't know how many there are at this point, but it was as though every couple of years he found a new person to pick up with and,
Sure.
and have this same pretty much ploy. Now, here's the thing about this. I know about. I don't. It's the legal thing of like, what can you say? What can you? I know these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know them personally.
I've talked to more than one. I won't even say exactly how many, but Brayer, again, if you're watching, I've talked to the victims. And any victim of this guy is a victim of yours.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Because how in the fuck?
No.
I mean, okay, so let's go a little bit further here, and let's take a look. And we're going to want the phones on at some point here, too, because I know somebody's going to want to call in about this. But
Okay.
So that's Bill Miller, right? You guys can find out as much as you want about him. He's got all kinds of dirt. He's been up to his fucking neck in underage sexual relationships for the better part of 2 decades. And so his good buddy is this guy. Then it's this next guy, Hank Vaughn. Now, all I can really tell you guys is I know this town. I know these people. They're good friends. You're going to have to take my word for it. I do know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So what's up with Hank Vaughn?
This guy taught at the next town over, same fucking thing. Same allegations of a relationship
really?
with a student. Right. Same exact
Okay.
thing. So now there's the next guy. So anyways, we could dwell on any one of these points forever, but this is just to keep this moving. This is his good friend, again, accused of sexual relationships with students one town over at his school.
He's friends with both of those other guys, Teague and Miller.
I don't know if he's close with Teague.
Okay, but he was definitely friends with Miller, the accused.
Very, very good friends.
Okay.
Yes.
And then Hank Vaughn was also embroiled in a student sex scandal then?
Yes, and we're starting to see something that resembles what I might call
A club.
or a network, right?
network.
It's weird because I don't know, me or you have never been accused of anything even remotely similar to that. Now, we get accused of some crazy shit sometimes, but nothing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just, does this just happen? Did this just, what? Really?
Yeah, no.
Both of you? Okay, so now here's another guy that worked with both of these guys, with Miller and Teague as a student teacher. Let's take a look, because the way you get a picture of this guy is by going on the sex offender website for Villa Park, Illinois, and there he is, Eric Damitz, which is, I imagine, kind of what he said when he got caught.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways,
So who's this guy?
he was a student teacher with Teague and Miller.
Okay.
And was, I believe, caught having a sexual relationship with a male student at the school. So, there we go. More and more, right? Now I got one more because, Mr. Teague, I'm talking to people that know the situation. And like I said, this is very bad for you. This is really, really bad. And you should not feel comfortable sitting there in Denburn Woods with your stupid fucking dog. By the way, one of the nicest neighborhoods ever. Frank Lloyd Wright houses and shit
totally.
this asshole gets to live in. So, okay. I have a text here. Sorry. Justin Hubley, who was in choir but was taught by Bill for a few classes, and
This is Bill Miller.
was friendly with him. Bill Miller. Justin went on to be a choir director in Crystal Lake and was recently fired for having parties with underage students, giving them booze, and assaulting them. Like I said,
Jesus Christ.
Bill Miller is at the epicenter of what has become a web of abusers, and that's what this person who's been
So
knowledgeable
basically, sexually abusive music teachers or just high school teachers.
Now I also talked to someone today who has told me that in their studies they're finding that band directors as a whole nationwide are way disproportionately responsible for sexual abuse of their students.
Really?
Yes. So the number one is coaches.
Makes sense.
But it's like a statistical thing. There's just a lot less band directors, and they're number two, I think. So, but proportionately, they're way more likely than any other type of teacher, is what I was told today. Interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting indeed.
So this is the legacy I see when I see this guy, Brer Teague, and we can put him back up. And, you know, I'm gonna go over a couple of other points here that I was asked to kind of bring up. DGN had many culture problems, including hero worship of the directors, the pitting students against students thing, smoke and mirrors of the, you know, the quality of the education. They create safety nets for themselves. They build their reputation to be untouchable. This is done very intentionally and protects them when allegations come out. Employees of school districts are trained to protect the school district. 9 times out of 10, this is more important than what's best for the kids. And I'm just, again, reading some things that I was asked to bring up. But then unofficially, people in Downers Grove are not informed about the extent of the crimes committed at that school. And I think that's also an important point, is I think the public perception is that this guy is as much of a victim as anybody because he had, I
fucking love that shit.
What a blemish on his otherwise wonderful career.
How could he have had any idea what was going on with his friend and colleague for fucking 10 years while he's banging students?
Mm-hmm.
How would he have any? And then, poor him, because he was such a great person. And this is one thing, this is obviously, not true across the board, but I always get the feeling that a lot of these people that are manipulating vulnerable people behind the scenes really lean into that whole like equity. Like it always seems like it's not always, because it's like, you know, but a lot of it's like they're so focused on that as their personal, you know, the public persona, and it always seems to be like this camouflage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, look at this. Because it is hard to then condemn him.
It's a public presentation that hides a deeper darkness or something.
Yeah, like think about that guy that wrote that, the little shining, the little glowing review of him in there. Like, oh, he was so integral to fucking, the inclusion and equity and diversity, blah, blah, blah. Well, now if he is that guy going to have to go back and be like, ah, shit, I guess he was banging kids. You know what I mean? It's really hard to walk that back.
Make sure we're not saying that Teague was.
No, I don't know if he was, but I'm saying
yeah.
if in a hypothetical,
right.
when you're fucking fawning over somebody like this publicly, and then something happens, it's more difficult to walk that back. You're way more apt to just shut up.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And then just be like, ah, shit, I already said that stuff. So it is always like this public persona that the people like this put forward is always this like sort of untouchable. You know what I'm saying?
And another way that that was kind of one of the points that my anonymous texter, who again is close to the situation, and you know, I just want him to think about that if he sees it. I'm talking to the people.
Yeah,
we're working on it. Yeah, this is your golden
legacy, baby.
Your legacy is done. It's over. It's gonna be done. Trust me. If I have to write a fucking book, I'll do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
he won't, but.
I'm gonna try.
AI will write a book for him. He'll tell him what to do.
Right. Someone will write a book. Okay. So, anyways, look, let's keep moving on that point and if you could open the phones too,
Yes.
And I believe I had somebody else that kind of wanted to weigh in on this, because another way that they sort of protect themselves and they sort of create, because I was there. I saw Bill Miller have a relationship argument with a girl who was like a junior, right? But you know what I mean by that? It was like you could just tell by seeing
the dynamics.
them
You can fucking tell if somebody's romantically involved by the way they argue.
She runs down the hallway crying. I say to some of the older kids, like,
now older, we're talking about 16, 17.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
This is not old. This is not like an adult.
Right. And I'm 14.
Yeah.
And I say to some of the older kids, what the hell was that? And they're like, oh, they have like an intense relationship or something. And they talked around it a little bit. I understood what was going on. And I also understood there's something very weird that adults can do to kids where you just pick up on the idea that like, this is a secret. I don't want to be the one to blow it.
I'm not supposed to be,
You know what I mean? You kind of want to be in on the club and feel cool and be part of things, and you don't,
Absolutely.
you don't want, so that's kind of part of the trick of it is they make you feel like you're their friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was saying, they get, in my opinion, too involved socially with the people, but I am starting to think that was by design.
Absolutely.
And it's to keep you from wanting to speak out about anything that you know. And so we have on the line, I'm assuming this is my sister, Andrea. Is that right?
I believe so.
It is.
Hello, Andrea.
Yeah, what do you think? Am I leaving anything out here?
No, actually, you were just getting to what I wanted to bring up, which was this weird thing about them wanting to be friends, and they tried to create this atmosphere of, like, everyone was grown-ups.
Yeah.
And in high school, when people treat you like a grown-up, it feels fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It is so powerful, and they knew that. I don't know when the last time either one of you spoke to a teenager was, but, like, they're children.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I work with teenagers. I work with 17 and 18-year-olds, and even they're children.
Sure.
And I remember the first time I ever heard a teacher swear was in that band program, and I remember feeling like, wow.
Like you're an adult. Like, oh God, it's almost like they make you feel like you're sitting at the adult table at Thanksgiving or something like that. Like you've crossed the threshold into like, oh God, I'm grown up. And that's all you want at that age.
Yeah.
You're in this weird place where all you want to be is grown up at that point.
Yeah.
And
so I went through the band program for 4 years there. I had this pair of teachers. I had Miller and Teague for 4 years at Downers North. And when I was 14, I remember being really impressed and being like, wow, they're so involved. This makes me feel so like I'm part of something important, and I want to be loyal to it, and I want to do what's honorable and what the people expect of me.
Yeah.
And they know that that's what they're doing. They 100% know that that's what they're doing. I would not accept anything.
No, it would have to be
that they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, for all these pieces and all these people to fit into the scenario that Vinny's already outlined, the level of coincidence would have to be. I mean, the numbers.
I mean, yeah. Come on.
It's just that's where you start getting Occam's razor-ish, where it's like, well, obviously something the fuck was going on here, and these people knew each other and they knew what each other were into.
So you know what? I don't want to actually like go without saying anything about this. I'll just say this. Me and Andrea have been told that there does exist 100% documentation of his knowledge of this in around many years ago. So
Teagues.
I lived the experience.
Yeah.
I know in real time while it was happening, I knew of Miller facing disciplinary action for an inappropriate relationship. I knew of a meeting that occurred with Maria Ward, was the principal at the time, and I knew of a meeting that occurred with her and one of the victims and the victim's mother, wherein the victim was told, if you pursue anything about this, you're the one who's going to be in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, see,
And I
classic.
also knew at a time when a third party who I was friends with found out about what was happening. She was the only person who had the good sense to try and tell somebody. And she went to her disciplinary dean and told them what was going on and what she heard. And that dean said, you better not tell anyone else about this. And I know your sister
Really?
is a teacher in this district, and it would be a shame if something happened to her career because you're running your mouth.
Yeah. So this
It's so weird.
This is what I've seen from this school, whatever administration and district and whoever.
Yeah.
There is very little public acknowledgement of any of this, and they don't want it to go any further. It's been rather successfully kept out of the press. That's really the main reason I'm doing this, is nobody else is fucking talking about this.
Yeah.
And it's craziness, dude. And so there's like a classic fucking good old boy boss hog corruption kind of shit going on around sexual abuse of children in our hometown.
Yeah.
What in the fuck?
Yeah, what is happening? Yeah.
Bill Miller was allowed to retire. He was asked to forfeit his Illinois teaching license. However, he does not need a teaching license to teach at a private school, and he doesn't need it to teach in any other state. He can just go to Indiana and get a teaching license or wherever. And furthermore, he now goes by his middle name. If you are looking for him
Which is
now, or
Ezra
if you want to
Miller.
keep an eye out from him, his name will be W. Scott Miller.
Oh.
Yeah.
He bumped it up a
Also,
notch.
like I said, I work with teenagers, many of whom go to our old high school, Downers North, and the consensus among the students, a lot of whom were there when all of this happened, they consider Miller to be guilty. Like, that's just, even the students that go there now
But
are
we-
like, oh, that guy who did the thing.
And we know he's
There's-
guilty because we were there. And
I know he's guilty. I know 100% that he's guilty.
Andrea,
There's no
can you-
question in my mind. I've seen it with my eyeball.
Can you talk about what you've seen with your own eyes?
I don't want to.
Give us a little something. You know what I
No,
want.
I had a friend in high school who I was close with, who was one of the victims, and she shared with me some emails in which they were exchanging flirtatious whatever. And he sent nude pictures. He sent pictures of his fucking disgusting old man dick.
He was like 28.
Yeah, settle down.
But no, so
Whatever. In my mind, it still belongs to an old man.
I know.
yeah, so this is how far this went. And
No, yeah, well, that's criminal.
yes,
That's 100% criminal, right?
of course, and he, not only the people
That's nothing. That's the only thing that I know that
That's what I mean.
experienced firsthand.
But that's out there, and it's concrete, and it's
But
criminal.
compared to what he's been accused of, it's a drop in the bucket.
yeah.
Yeah, but also the hubris. It's just such a fucking it's, to me, there's another aspect of all of this. Anytime you see some of this, and obviously at the higher echelons of power, elite power and stuff, it's even way more pronounced. But it's always this weird disregard, I'm untouchable kind of a fucking attitude. How would you do that? Why would you leave photographic evidence in a fucking child's email? You know what I'm saying? That's such a odd, if just from because you and I have done many a criminal enterprise.
Yeah, sure.
You make every effort to cover your tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you
do
gotta be
everything.
careful.
I mean,
Yeah.
I remember going as far as to
No,
not
I think
deliver.
that's part of it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
It's almost
I
like
think that part of
they
it
get
is,
off
like,
on
feeling
that.
the power.
Yes, that's what I mean. Is
Yeah.
it's not, if you're actually trying to get away with something, you fucking get away with it. You don't leave breadcrumbs and fucking dick pics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is always an odd aspect of this. Is like this power. Thirst for power kind of a thing, and this hubris of feeling untouchable, and yeah, it's just and
Well, the problem is that he learned that he was untouchable because he had been caught and was
Yeah.
allowed to just keep going.
Yeah.
So
He
this is
was
another thing.
untouchable in a lot of ways.
This is another thing we had inside information about. The school knew, he knew. I mean, I've been adding kind of a level of mystery to it, but I don't see the point of that anymore. We know he knows. We know he knew. The school knew. Nobody did anything. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, and also, I feel like you failed to mention that not only was Teague Miller's and Hank Vaughn was a student teacher there. The guy from Westmont was the student teacher while I was there in marching band.
Oh, okay.
And not only were
trifecta,
they
yeah.
colleagues, but Teague was the department head. He was not just their coworker; he was their boss. It
Yeah.
was his job to know, and he was
Yeah.
more culpable than just a normal colleague because he was their superior, and he was in the position to protect children from him. and he didn't. And then when given the opportunity to say, hey, we had to get rid of this guy because we want to protect you, instead he said nothing and just fucking floated out the rest of his days, and now he wants to retire in quiet.
So these are
This doesn't even sound like quiet. This seems like he's getting lauded. Over.
Yeah. Oh, he's
like this seems like he's getting like
he's-
really sent off as a fucking hero of some sort.
He's like a local celebrity, you know?
Yeah.
And so
Ugh.
these are the
And
guys.
I just, on a personal level, the man is just such a fucking dink. There is nothing about him that is cool or fun or funny. He chose
awful.
a career with high school students because that was the highest level of intellect that he could impress.
Yeah. That's
And that's another thing is a lot of these people. That's why they target people like this because they don't have the wherewithal and the chops to fucking impress actual adults.
So he
with
is
anything.
he is a person that I was just thinking about this. Like you cannot, if you knew this guy, you could not picture him in the adult world. It doesn't work. His routine doesn't work. His fucking and this is the other thing. These guys. That we've just described to you for the past 30 minutes or so, and told you all this about. These guys are the ones when I was a teenager that were admonishing me, condescending me, and lecturing me every time I fucking turned around about something I was doing because I smoked weed after school. You fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Because
and then on their spare time, they were banging students.
Well,
Some of them,
at
maybe.
least,
we
at
don't
least
know
Bill.
exactly.
Do you
what's
want to
happening,
hear
but-
something truly pitiful?
Yes.
Is that when I was in high school, one of my friends who had a personal relationship with Miller told me that he told her that he just wanted me to think he was cool. Can you imagine?
oh my god.
Wanting a 16-year-old to think that you're cool? How fucking sick do you have to be?
Somebody else.
Not just to feel that, but to feel it enough that you express it out loud to somebody.
Yeah, it's pathetic. I mean, but again,
It's pathetic.
I don't think you would be in the position that he finds himself in if you weren't a pathetic
I
wretch
would
of a
never
fucking
put
human.
myself in a room with teenagers if it was up to me. Not in a million billion years would I do that.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you if you do this. Actually,
It's creepy.
Every teacher is creepy. Actually, now that I think about it,
Yeah, stop interacting. Have kids
Yeah.
teach kids. That's the answer.
right?
They'll
But
all
so
remain idiots.
all right, we've been on this a while, so we're gonna keep moving. And thanks for everybody for putting up with this. This is my hometown. I care about this, and you know, I
As
don't,
you
I don't,
should.
I like I said, I do not want this guy on again. I'll just because I want to make this. This is gonna be on YouTube. When I'm talking to him, I don't actually think he's watching, so you guys know. But I'm putting it on YouTube. I'm making it visible. This guy is gonna search for his own name, or somebody's gonna send it to him, or I don't know how it's gonna happen. He's gonna see this, and so that's why I'll talk to you, Brayer Teague. Again, your legacy is over. This is not happening. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. You're not
Yes.
gonna get away with it.
You know what?
And
Let's give him a little flash of what we got with the. We're gonna go Patriot on him.
yeah, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
This is what you're gonna see coming
We're
down
going
the
straight
street.
Patriot. No,
No,
we're gonna go
where's the
this
other one?
Yeah,
That's us.
We're
This
going
is
this one, baby.
This is
hey,
who's
Teague.
this is who's coming after you. Okay.
Yeah.
Former student Vinny, who you fucking basically made so goddamn miserable that I couldn't even stand to play music, which I fucking love. And if I had ever listened to you, I would have stopped playing music forever. If I would have ever listened to you, it would have made music such an unpleasant thing to partake of that I would have had a much different life. I'm very glad. I thought you were a fucking asshole then and a moron with zero taste or talent, and I still do. And in here, it says that you decided to teach before you actually thought of yourself as a musician. When did you think of yourself as a musician? When was that? Because I never did. No one did. You know who was a musician? My dad. He saw you play drums. We laughed our fucking asses off the whole way home.
Did he really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. We went and saw him, and it was just fucking hilarious. I mean, he was ding, you know, fucking just cornball everything. But he played a fill that I swear to God was like, you know, his big moment was just like boop boop doop boop 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 boop.
Ooh,
And you know what I mean?
like a 1980s drum machine.
Not
Like,
even that.
oh,
I don't,
yeah,
I
baby.
don't think it was even that cool. But yeah, I just remember me and my dad just having a giant roast session the whole way home. My
Yeah.
dad was a real musician. He traveled the country playing music. He did it for decades and decades. He worked in studios. he hated this guy and made fun of him all the time. Could not fucking stand him. Anybody who was a real musician could not fucking stand this guy. And that will be your legacy when I am done. So
There we
anyways,
go, folks. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Not you guys. Fuck this guy.
Well, yeah.
Fuck all his friends. Thank you for the call, Andrea.
Yeah, Andrea, final word on this while we switch over to
No,
something
I
else?
think you nailed it.
Okay, cool.
Boom. Nailed.
So
All
welcome
right.
back. Good to have Radioville back in my life.
All right, good to hear from you.
Yes, very good.
Good
All right.
goodbye.
Okay,
Goodbye,
goodbye.
miss. All right. Now, let's get to some of these.
Ah, that felt good.
Yeah, I know. I could tell you like that.
Dude, I mean, this, like I said, not to beat a dead horse, but just when I saw this magazine, I was like, you're not fucking, no. I just have so much in the chamber about him because he made me so, like I said, just his whole being is just so offensive to me.
Yeah.
You know, it just is ridiculous.
Yeah,
So-
it's personal.
Yes,
It's a
right.
personal thing to you. And
He's an asshole from his fucking stupid oval-shaped body to his dumbass fucking his
all the way down to his stupid drum fills.
right.
Everything about him.
And this is another thing. He always had a real cheap watch on, digital
Ooh.
watch and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, a teacher's salary. pal.
Shitty Walmart glasses. Whatever. It's just
Fuck him.
Yeah, zero style, zero. Like Andrea said, nothing good about him. Nothing. Not funny. Not smart. A complete dud in every way, and just found this fucking, this Svengali routine he could do in a rich community where nobody knows what the hell's going on.
Somehow,
You
because
know,
they're all too busy with their career.
It's like a rich
The
town. They
parents
don't fucking know
care.
about
Yeah, they're like,
music.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I heard he's at band.
Yeah,
Junior's
whatever.
at band. Whatever.
Okay,
He's out
you
of my
got a
hair.
band concert, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
So let me just address some of these. Tony Johnson said, sounds like he wanted to be a priest at a Catholic grade school. Brian said, the auto instructors at TCD let us go with swearing and smoking and joking like we were friends, but I think they weren't trying to bang us.
No, those are just stoners. Yeah.
Yeah. JT says, who's on the line right now? She's awesome. That was Andrea. That was Vinny's sister.
Yeah.
Connie says, yes, Teague, you're even less cool the older you get, loser. And tell us what you really think, Vinny. He's a total dud. I remember that time in Ireland. Ha ha, Jimbo Williamson.
Oh, hey, Jimmy.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm glad he's here because I keep forgetting to call you back, and I told you I would, and I've been really fucking busy. I forgot to call him back for like 4 weeks.
All right.
I'll try to call you tomorrow, Jimmy. All right, so we have another little expose to get into, unless you want to fucking change course and do something
Yeah,
else.
I think that's going to be, I mean, we are...
Yeah, we'll do that second hour.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
we'll do that second hour. We're at about 45 minutes, so we can just look at a couple things. One thing I sort of was finding interesting was, let me see here. Let's go with this one. Let's see what our beard. This is such an odd article that I saw.
Yeah, I saw this in the drive, and I was like, what?
I found this shit here. Let me get rid of this fucking douchebag's face, and let's get over here. So I came across this article, and I just found it odd in many ways. So
What your beard says about your personality.
yeah, so let's just take a look at this. Now, this is by Tom Hale. Hey, a somewhat normal name.
Hey, that's weird.
That's never happened on this show.
Well, this is probably going to be a great article then.
It's probably, he's a senior journalist.
Okay, let's check him
Look
out.
at that beard. Very, it's just so typical. First of all, this picture just makes me want to fucking get sick all over the desk. It's just everybody has to look. It's just
It's
everyone's
weird.
different by looking the same.
It
It's
is
like,
weird.
What?
It is weird
No.
that this like became what so many millions of people look like now. It's just odd.
But
yeah.
the worst part about it, and we've talked about this on the show, it's they're doing it to like set themselves apart. But by doing what? Looking like every other fucking person? It's mandatory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want to think that you're like a guy in his 20s that's going to get ladies and be a cool dude, it's like they think they literally have to have hand tattoos now and fucking full. It's just
there is a place in Logan Square in Chicago where they're just like pushing these things out of a portal. These people,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
They're
And it's-
manufactured downtown.
No, they just get they're
yeah.
just pushing some otherworldly demonic
Yes.
entities are just taking these and making them, molding them and whatever. and then just push him out of this portal into Logan Square, and they just start fucking drinking PBR and riding around on some dumb
tight
bike.
rolling their pants, wearing boots that they don't need to wear.
They just are coded to do it.
Yeah, it's just such a fucking oddity to me.
And you
But
look at a guy like that. What the fuck kind of music do you listen to? What is this?
To like old pinnacle soundtracks from 1918 or some, you know what I mean? Like some kind of instrument that doesn't exist anymore. Bing, bing, doom, doo, 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 doo. And he's like, dude, this shit's fucking the.
This is all I like.
Yeah, it's just this. David Cross had that one character on.
No, I know what he listens to.
What?
World music.
Yeah.
Nothing American. This
No.
You know?
No.
Can't just have
Caribbean, Afro-Caribbean type shit, all sort of Latinx.
All right, we haven't even
All right,
seen
yeah,
a
let's
word
look
of
at
this
here.
article.
So, in what is surely going to prove a controversial conclusion, a new study has claimed to find a link between beards and misogyny.
Huh?
Well, that's a direction I did not think this was going.
Well, how about you just
immediately.
say a connection between men and beards, and let's just cut
Yeah, that's
right
what
to
you're
the
saying.
point,
Okay,
you
but
know,
this
like-
is where it gets funny. As always, correlation does not necessarily imply causation, but that hasn't stopped the researchers making such a link.
Oh, I didn't realize we're going in this direction. Why did you write this?
Yeah.
Why did you,
So, the study published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior. Archives of Sexual Behavior.
yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, right in the middle of the intro. That's
Okay.
when you do that.
on.
Anyways, so yeah. A study published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior asked 532 Americans and Indian men how much they agree with certain statements about women, along with their current facial hair status. The survey was conducted online through the crowdsourcing marketplace Amazon Mechanical Turk. After accounting for factors like nationality, age, education level, relationship status, and sexual orientation, the researchers claimed that men with facial hair were more likely to hold sexist beliefs and misogynistic attitudes. Now, let's stop it real quick there. Because it's, first of all, how specific can you get with an online, saying these people are just reporting their beard light. So this could literally be 532 idiots that are just fucking with you.
What do you think this guy means by misogyny?
But this is the other thing, is now you're saying sexist and misogynistic views. So if you're not differentiating between those two, I would think that there is a differentiation there. But we'll go
I
on.
don't know what anyone thinks anything means anymore because I've just seen such wild accusations be thrown out. What has it been now? 10 years that everything's been
It's
fucking
been
crazy?
about that, yeah.
And like I've just seen such like wild things said in these terms for like so long now that who knows what this guy even is talking about.
Well,
what does he consider
check
misogyny?
this out.
Just because I like
Well, you're about to find out. Hold on. They found 86% of bearded Indian men and 65% of bushy Americans hold hostile, sexist attitudes, significantly more than their clean-shaven counterparts. Men who held these hostile, sexist attitudes were more likely to agree with statements like, once a woman gets a man to commit to her, she usually tries to put him on a tight leash.
oh wow,
And
that's real
women,
that's fucked up, huh?
Women seek to gain power by getting control over men. What? This is the now look
This is
one
how-
line
this
up.
is- this is what I-
hostile sexist statements.
Okay, so this is what I mean. They don't even know what it is because they have driven us so far into the underground of like if you listen to me and Tom on our headsets while we're playing a game or something.
Jesus, no.
Okay, like that's
Don't do that.
misogyny. That's fucking.
That is vile behavior and speech.
I mean, it's just everything.
It's arrestable at this point.
Honestly,
if you're
sometimes
in Britain, we're gone.
Oh, dude, we would 100% be
Canada?
arrested in Canada for a lot of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Several places, whatever,
Yeah.
anywhere with the good old
US of A, baby. And
let's
you know
see,
what?
let's
Yeah.
hit that
Let's,
fucking bird, baby. We're allowed to say whatever the hell we want.
Get the fuck out of my face. Don't tread on me, baby.
Yeah, and stay out of my Fortnite lobbies.
Yeah. Don't be sending your fucking spies into the game forums.
Yeah.
Find out what we're up to.
Oh man, that would be really bad.
Yeah, that was really bad.
But no, so this is what I'm saying. They don't even know what like a really fucked up person says.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's your
What is-
example.
this is your
Like,
example of hostile, sexist. Look at that. Okay, so hostile, sexist attitudes. like once a woman gets a man to commit to her, she usually tries to put him on a tight leash.
Yeah, this
and
is like
women seek to gain power by getting control over men.
This is like misogyny from like a Humphrey Bogart movie or something.
This is not misogyny.
You know.
This is facts. They do.
Well, sure, but
All
I mean,
people do.
I'm saying it's
women
pretty,
and men.
It's pretty weak misogyny too.
That's what I'm saying.
all. Yeah.
Misogyny.
No, it's just
okay. The study also looked at benevolent sexism. They defined this attitude, which suggests men and women have very distinct gender differences, with men taking a protective and paternalistic role. That's
Why do you
benevolent sexism now. What
Yeah.
are you fucking talking about?
How often are people going to? How long is this going to keep going on for? Where people are just describing very fundamental reality as odd and crazy or something?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Hey, male Robin, why is the mommy Robin making the nest, you piece of shit? Oh, because
Yeah.
you're fucking wired to? Because men are wired to protect?
I guess.
Like, we're
I mean,
fucking
but
genetically
I'm
predisposed
kind of-
for certain things.
I'm kind of flabbergasted at. It's like I know we see stuff like this, but like I'm saying, like, why do you, I mean? This is
It's I don't get it. So
but literally they're just describing like the
most mundane-
basic of reality.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's
Like,
always been.
Yeah.
And it's never. So benevolent sexist attitudes included agreeing with statements like women should be cherished and protected by men.
That's a benevolent
Sexist, as well as behaviors like opening doors for women and insisting on paying for a dinner. What the fuck are we talking about?
So now you're just not.
What are we talking
You're
about?
not supposed to be nice at all. Or it's
Yeah,
just
that's
like-
fucking sexist, dude.
That is what I think. What they're achieving
that's
with
what
a
they're
lot
trying
of
to
this,
do.
though, like when you see like younger kids, and we've talked of before
yeah.
how we see so much less dynamic personalities. We see so much less like people who know how to like perform in conversation, people who know how to tell a fucking story, people who know how to do something funny, whatever. You know what I mean? And a lot of that seems to be going away. And
Because
like,
everyone's self-censoring constantly. They don't know what the fuck they're
Exactly. You don't
supposed to
know
be
what you
doing
can do.
anymore. They're
Nobody
like,
knows. Like-
I know this isn't bad, but I think somebody thinks it's bad, so I better not do anything. I just fucking sit here quietly and have a fucking panic attack inside my head.
Right.
Because I have no idea how to act in the world anymore.
And I think that is the ultimate goal, to end up with just your bland worker drone.
That's what it seems like.
Pod people who aren't going to fucking make any trouble. You know what I mean? Like,
And I'm
it's-
saying to the fellow pod people out there, it's time to revolt.
yeah, man.
We have to be able to treat each other nicely and open doors for each other
So the-
without thinking that we're fucking doing some sort of, sexist act under the guise of nice, being, friendly.
Yeah,
This is
and
ridiculous.
people that think this way, like it's been pointed out to me before that we think of it as like the younger generation is like doing this and trying to change the social standards and canceling and blah 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 and whatever.
Yeah.
But they're also growing up in that environment. That's why it's metastasizing so fast. Is that
Oh,
did
yeah.
I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
metastasizing.
that's why it's happening so fast, is because they're doing it and being affected by it. So it's becoming like what happens in the Bolshevik revolution.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like everybody
talk
everybody
about
is
anything.
petrified.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's never going to get any better.
No.
You know, and this so
I
how
have-
long are they going to attempt to like rewrite reality though? That's
And
what
actually,
I want to
yeah.
know. And it's not going to work on everyone. That's the thing.
No.
But the more and more it probably will, but we're going to hang on.
So here, the study proposed that men who already hold sexist beliefs. Now we've already seen what they think sexist beliefs are.
Yeah.
Is things like women should be cherished and protected by men.
Dude, I knew this study was off because I shave all the time. And
Yeah.
like I am like the world's leader of like shit talking women. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I
Yeah.
make Patrice O'Neill look tame, you know, when we're in private, of course.
Yes, and it's all in jest.
yeah.
But the study proposed that men who already hold sexist beliefs enjoy growing their beards because it asserts masculinity and reinforces ideals of dominance. However, they also suggested that growing a beard can force men into behavior in accordance of perceived cultural notions of masculinity.
This is what happens also. I just go to sleep when these people I don't even know what you just
However,
said. I don't
it
know.
is probably worth remembering, if you believe judging someone based on their gender is wrong, then judging someone's character by their facial hair length is also probably wrong too. Hey, yeah, you fucking think Tom Hain or whatever the fucking Tom Hale,
Okay.
you fucking idiot.
Now we just wasted time with this, but it was fun for us to make fun of this guy, but why?
Yeah, but
what
yeah,
did you write that? Why
what is this?
What is it? Yeah, what is it for?
You know what this is? And I'll go out on a limb here. This is just the need for ever increasing amounts of content.
Yeah.
and also coupled with like the journalistic integrity of being completely and utterly fucking demolished across the board in most every publication that is seen by anyone, and this one I don't even know if it is seen by anyone. So JT says, so I can just be a dick? Yeah, I guess that's pretty much what they're saying.
Sorry, I just looked at the chat and
Yeah.
and somebody, my friend, this is my friend Brian Clavey saying hi to my friend Brian Stasinski because he's got a weird name in the chat. So he says, "Hey Stizzy, it's Clavey." So I want to make sure that he saw that. Like that guy when we first started the show that was trying to return a Metallica tape to somebody.
Yeah, that
in
was
the chat. That was
Jerry
cool.
Elrod talking about your brother. Yeah, so this is the other thing is, hey, dude, maybe people grow a beard because it becomes trendy, not because they're holding any view at all. Like beards become stylish, and then beards become not stylish. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to read into.
Some people like them. Some people hate them. Every time I get to like that weak part and it starts to itch and stuff, I just shave. I've never really like.
I've had them. I don't let it get more than like an inch because then, first of all, I start looking like an idiot.
It's oily and fucking messy and shit, and get stuff in there.
It's just
and
not.
It's not for me.
No, it's just not for me. And here's the thing:
once in a while, though, if I do grow it out a lot, I will do stuff like
hit women.
yeah. Once in a while, if I grow my facial hair out long enough,
next thing you know,
I just can't be blamed for what happens next.
Dude, it's my beard.
You saw the article.
Yeah, Tom Hale.
I should carry that article with me at all times.
Yeah, in your wallet.
Yeah.
Here, hold on. No.
It's like, you guys.
I know I hit that bartender, but she was, she saw my beard. She still didn't get me to drink quick enough.
You see?
Here we go. Look at this article.
Yes. And but so what was I saying? Oh, what I will do sometimes is after it's grown out a lot and is pretty beardy, but I want to shave.
Yeah.
I'll spend like an hour or two with a crazy facial hair that I never show anyone, but I'll just do it to amuse myself.
Yes.
Like I'll do like just the long mustache thing and no goatee.
Yeah. I do this.
Or sometimes you do it too. Okay.
I do it, but then I walk around like that for a few days, and then I'm.
I guess
customers are always like.
Or you do the one that's just like a stripe. Sometimes, or you do like Civil War stuff or whatever, you know what I mean? And so
chops.
What I would love to do sometimes is have like my girlfriend come home from work and I would just sit there casually with some real fucking stupid facial hair. That's the only thing I do. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And then hit women. All right, we're going to go to break, but beforehand, so Katie says, I would like to know who did the study and set the qualifications for what is considered sexist? Well, obviously.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah. Whoever did it was way off.
We just needed to kill like 10 minutes.
Yeah. And I thought that article was just so
It's
on
ridiculous.
its face idiotic.
But I don't even know what to say about this shit anymore, though, sometimes.
But here's the thing is somebody's at work talking about that. Like, man, I just read an article about people because somebody that works in an office that's mandatory, like clean shaven or something. And they're just like, I read an article about guys with beards. And apparently they're all pretty sexist. And they're like,
thing
really?
we don't have any of them around here.
Good job. Now I'm going to go and peer at Linda through the fucking break room blinds and try and see her fucking undergarments as she bends over to get her grapefruit out of her lunch pail.
Drop some painkillers in her coffee.
Yeah. Whoa, okay.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. What are we doing for break?
What are we gonna do for break?
So during the break, don't go anywhere because it's just gonna be us
sons of biscuits
talking on a previous show. It's a recording, they're known as.
Or we can just throw on some commercials because I know you guys love that.
No. Make them watch more of us. What this whole thing is all about. But yeah, so they call it a video recording. It's us at an earlier date having used the camera and audio equipment to capture our image and sounds to be perfectly preserved for God knows how long on what is called the internet.
Well, eventually they'll all be erased by the Red Guard.
Yes.
Once they actually
Once the UN troops march through our virtual fields, they'll burn everything in sight.
It's not going to be pretty, guys.
So what this is, again, is a video recording from us at an earlier... Do I need to re-explain, or do you guys get it?
No.
So it's made
I think they
available...
need to,
It's made available to you by a platform known as YouTube. And you can head over there at your leisure.
You as in you. Not like a U-turn.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Just
Yeah.
in case, you guys should check that site out. And it's Radioville with Tom and Vinny is the show you're watching. Go over to YouTube, hit the subscribe, check out some of the classic videos that you can find over there, just like this one. And we'll be back in 5 quick minutes here on
We
Radioville.
sure will. Bye.
Time to time, we like to show that men and women are basically comparable in their sports, whatever sport they choose to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Or,
Sorry.
that there's
I saw something funny on here.
there's no major controversy because we've covered in recent times some.
We try to give it a balanced,
balanced view.
Yeah, a balanced approach.
Right. So
and a balanced view.
there's been some controversy in the world of professional disc golf dealing with trans disc golfers.
That's
People
right.
who
That's
were-
right. I remember we looked at a couple stories.
Natalie
on
Ryan
here. Yeah.
was one. People that were born male that have now transitioned to the female pro disc golf league,
Which is
and
fine.
whether or not they had an advantage. So we like
But they
to
might have an advantage.
Yeah, we like to from time to time just take a totally. So what I do is I literally from thousands of disc golf videos. Just completely at random, I
Yeah.
select one from the male category and one from the female.
Exactly.
Without viewing them at all. We have never seen either one of these. And we just wanted to make like an honest, uncontrolled comparison just at random to male and female disc golf. So let's.
Yes, and we've done it before a couple times, and
It has a weird tendency to have a certain kind of,
But I mean, we'll have to see what this. Okay, so apparently up first.
Okay, so this is the male example. What is this guy's name? Jackson Griffith?
Now, first of all, let me just say this with a K.
Yeah.
Oh, come on,
Okay.
Jackson.
But let's take a look. This is just
Tell
like
your parents.
this is just like your average kind of example of like a male disc golfer.
Yeah, you know what? Hold on one second. They can see it, but I want to. Here, there's a better better view for them, so they can actually see it. I think this is. Oh no. We'll just go full screen.
Okay.
All right, let's just.
All right, so let's take a look at this randomly selected men's disc golf video. You see this guy? He's about to tee off. You got a long straight shot. Now, this is one of the hardest things to do in disc golf. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to throw it that straight. Boom, and he sinks it.
Holy shit.
Let's watch that one more time.
I am going to.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Dude, if you haven't done this, you would not believe how fucking insane this is. Like, to throw a disc that far, that straight. Yeah. No, that's crazy. Okay.
That
so
is
now-
insane. Okay. So
I wasn't expecting that. That was just randomly selected. That was
that was, but also fucking insane. Now I have tried it. You're right. I haven't done it as much as you at all. You know what I mean? But
yeah, it's really hard. It's so somebody looking at that might not really appreciate that. That's a fucking incredible fucking feat.
yeah, like I've
is,
never owned discs or anything like that, but I've gone with people, and I'm a pretty athletic gentleman.
I thought that I was really good at frisbee, but then you start playing this, dude. Oh
That's
my
the thing
God.
is,
yeah,
here's the thing though. I'm pretty athletic. I was good at a lot of things, but frisbee,
It's
not
difficult,
that.
dude.
I
Yeah,
never.
it's-
I was always kind of awkward at frisbee for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. So when I tried that is an amazing feat though.
Now, so
What that guy just did.
We also now, just to compare,
so-
we randomly selected a female disc golf video.
Yes.
So we'll just see
Take
what
a
this
quick
is.
look at that
I don't know
one.
what it's going to be, but yeah. Who is this?
Who is this? Evelina Salonen.
Evelina Salonen. Okay. So what is this going to be?
Okay, what is this?
No, just go. Just keep going.
9-stroke difference. Okay, I just want high.
Oh, so she's way ahead, basically. I think.
Fountain Hills is all
All
about
right, so
distance.
it looks like she's got a little putt here. Let's take a look.
Oh my
Ooh,
god!
taking her time.
Wow.
Okay, well, that's a good sign for
That was
Kristen
really
Guitar.
easy and she
Evelina
missed it.
is putting first.
Oh my god.
Just right,
no.
Wow.
right and right.
Oh, Evelina.
All right, you're close. Oh my god. All right, well,
That was from like 5 feet away.
yeah.
In a
Misses.
on a sunny day, no wind.
In some weird ass clay town.
Right?
I
Yeah.
was kidding.
Oh boy, yeah,
Again,
that's
just
bad.
Light, as if she's
Yes.
not.
Now there can't be
committed.
more of these, right? I mean,
I like
all
what
from
they're
that.
saying,
that one
dude.
just barely trickled in, so
This is all from one round.
Retrieve that one.
That's the best one.
Oh, no. And then
They went in the water. Wait, can you show that one more time?
I know. And listen to what they say. Listen to what the way they're saying all of this. They just keep being like, oh, Evelina. It's so fucking
Girl.
funny. Not like that.
No.
All right, hold on.
and
Listen.
then carried enough to go all the way to the water.
Hold on.
That one
Yeah, but no, back it a
Evelyn.
little way. Yeah.
in, so
Ah,
she probably was
Dumb
able
this
to
looks.
retrieve that one.
Evelina.
Oh no! And then carried enough to go all the way to the water.
Yeah, it
Ouch.
did, didn't it?
Now she can re-putt from that spot.
I'd like to see that.
Try that out.
Oh, amazing.
Evelina Salonen. All right, here we go.
Now, I
I know how to
almost thought.
say my Evelina. Like smaller feet.
I almost
traditionally,
thought that this
or
was
just in
a
real
joke?
life. I don't know
Not-
what I'm saying.
well,
Anyways, if you have smaller feet,
I almost thought this was not a gender comparison, if you get my drift.
Evelina looking for a birdie here.
But then I looked her up.
Oh,
It seems like I don't know what it is. She's just not getting these birdie putts in, but when it's for par, she's nailing it every time.
Yeah.
Kristen will tap in.
Oh
She'll
my God.
come down.
All
to
right, no,
five
Here we
This is
go.
feet.
very
Watch this.
close.
Dude, this is the best. And then it rolls far, far away. Goodbye.
No
Into the
way.
water. Oh! Just but
Did
It
not
is
make the water,
awful, Yeah,
folks.
it's not OB, but
Well, obviously that's not a good
Tried.
try.
Yeah. Nice job.
this is going to be a
This
high
is a
number for
competition?
Evelina.
Yeah.
No, it can't be.
So this is one of those things
Trying to
where,
get out of here with a par.
all right, this is a different day, but yeah,
I mean, that I could see
that one, yeah, that one you
that's
could
fine.
miss.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just kidding.
that's
I
fine.
really was.
Oh.
But you're a
Finish,
professional.
you guys.
Like this is.
Yeah, this is like a professional
yeah, this
competition,
is a
right?
female
Oh my
professional.
God.
Yeah, it's pathetic. It's
What
absolutely
the fuck is
pathetic.
going on here? Okay, that one again. I could see that one.
Out of position
Still
on the
funny, though.
drive, so
Something
she's
about
got
it.
for par.
Oh my God.
That was way the fuck off.
What are you doing?
So, anyways,
Go or let
they're
it
showing
Wood,
that she like
one on your
basically
back,
added
here's a
19
fly one.
Yeah,
strokes to her
apparently-
score.
Apparently,
by
this girl
missing.
Evelina Salonen fucking could have won.
Oh, she,
But
yeah,
then
she was way ahead, yeah.
unnecessary fucking strokes, like just thrown to the side for no reason. It really does seem like this chick's
Watch this,
not.
watch this.
Oh,
What the fuck are you doing?
yeah,
What are you
she didn't
doing?
turn
So
up,
here you had
and she knows
here you had two videos selected completely at random.
At random, and one of the best and one of the best. You know
One
what I
showing
mean?
one showing men's disc
Well, no,
golf. one
both of them
showing,
showing prowess, though. You know what I mean?
I mean,
In
these
the
are
disc golf
professional,
world.
yeah. Can we show the men's?
Oh,
You dumb bitch.
let me see.
Oh my god.
Stop it.
Can we show the men's one again, just real fast, or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Just so we can get an
Why
idea.
would we not?
Yeah,
be
go
able
ahead.
to?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that people can see it better because the YouTube one kind of fucking hides it under us. All right.
And here's the guy. Yeah.
Hey.
Look at that.
Hey, look at that. And we're back, guys.
What a classic Radioville clip. So I think the idea of that is
We're not gonna.
That we're
And
all
here's the thing:
equal.
tune in next time for the thrilling conclusion of that clip.
yeah, exactly.
You don't get to see the end of it.
Only live people. I think a lot of people think they can only see us live, but again, that is our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It gets zero attention or traffic. Head over there, guys. Check it out. There's a lot of good stuff.
Lots of good shit.
When you're feeling lonely during the week, when we're not around, over the weekend, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's where you can go. So let's get back into
get back
something
into
here.
some shit
Tom, I know
here,
you want to
guys.
tell me about some crazy lady.
I sure do.
Now, what is her name again?
Stacy Plaskett. I don't know who in here would be. No, let me just see here. All right, hold on now.
What is it?
It's just a timer. All right, so yeah, let's just go over here. So Stacy Plaskett, I don't know who is familiar with Stacy Plaskett, but she is a Democratic congresswoman, or she's not exactly a congresswoman. So she's from the Virgin Islands. She's a representative, but she's a non-voting representative or something like that, like from Puerto Rico and
So
Washington D.C., stuff like this.
they're like
places-
representatives that have what less.
They just don't get a
can't
vote when the
vote.
whole thing when they put something to a full vote.
Okay.
They don't.
But they can like advocate for their.
They
for their
they still have a
zone.
lot of power. They can be put into positions on administration, administrative boards, on oversight committees, that type of shit. So then they do actually have power.
Okay.
So one thing I had sent you this the other day,
I remember.
and I thought it was very odd. So we can take a look at this.
I don't know what the hell is going on in this. but-
Yeah.
So this is our lady. What's her name again? Stacy
Stacy Plaskett.
Plaskett. Okay.
And here, I'll just not show us right now, but this was a weird thing. In that, if you watch while she's giving her little address here, and this was, I believe, during the Twitter files, weaponization of government censorship that was going on with Matt Taibbi. Now, this is another thing. I covered this a little bit previously on Radioville. How this is the woman that was calling Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger like so-called journalists, and she had at one point after the hearing had called for Matt Taibbi to be jailed because he referenced an institution, some acronym, AIU instead of AUI or some. It was some ridiculous shit. So she was not nice at all. She's not known for being a nice person. She's whatever. But this was during this little address that she had during those proceedings. Watch the girl behind her. There's a close up of her on the bottom there. It's a very odd thing that's going on here. So let's just take a listen. Let me make sure this volume's on.
Page 55 from the committee's interview with FBI employee Roya Demlow, who you just spoke about, which took place on July 17, 2023. In that line, she says,
What the fuck is happening?
The question was asked, okay, if someone were to leave here today, were to leave this interview,
this
and were
is
to suggest or imply that when you said...
Okay, does
the
everybody see what
laptop was
we're
real,
looking at here? Let's explain.
Yeah, what's going on here? This person
this,
asks.
This has the appearance
that it meant
of
that the FBI
a Svengali.
a very
determined in October
sophisticated
2020,
ventriloquist act of some type.
Yeah.
So what we're looking at here, guys, just to explain, because I didn't quite catch it myself the very first time. I kind of just thought it was weird. But what's extra weird about it is she is moving her mouth exactly in time.
Because
with,
when Stacy Plaskett clears her throat or something like that, she is mouthing these things. It's not as if she's reciting it because she wrote it.
Because she knows the script.
Here, let's take another look at that real quick because this is going to lead somewhere.
Yeah, can you start at the beginning? Or?
Yeah, this is the beginning.
55 from the committee's interview.
Okay, wait, I'm going to restart that because it's there where she stammers real quick. You'll notice.
Which took place on July 17th,
And everybody understanding what we're saying here,
Yeah,
it's
here.
like,
Now watch.
how?
Watch this. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
with FBI employee Roya Demlow, who you just spoke about, which took place on July 17th, 2023. In that line,
Okay,
she
so
said-
Tom-
She says with her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's saying the non-written part.
Tom thinks this lady is magically being controlled by this
I'm
other
not
lady.
exactly sure what is going on here, but
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. Now, let's get into who is Stacy Plaskett. Hey, guys, look at that. Okay, so let me go and get this full screened rather than that format. And so a little bit more of a deep dive into who is Stacy Plaskett. Now there was some controversy a bit ago about her connections with Jeffrey Epstein. Now here's a little write-up about that. How Jeffrey Epstein helped a rising Democratic star pull off a political upset. Democrat Stacy Plaskett says she didn't solicit Epstein for donations. Emails tell a different story. Now this is stemming from she was denying any connection with him. Then the lawsuit between the Virgin Islands and Chase Morgan Bank for the financing of Epstein's activities started going on.
Okay.
Shitload. This is when Chase Morgan accidentally deleted like 8,000 emails and got nothing for that.
I trust them.
Yes. No, this is obviously on the up and up.
You're very suspicious
But yes.
of
Now,
a lot of people who have proven to be,
yeah.
contributing members of society.
Well-wishers.
Yeah.
But so then once these emails surfaced, they contradicted her former actual testimony
Right.
on this subject. So let's take a little. Democratic Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett of the Virgin Islands won her election in 2014 in one of the biggest upsets in the political history of her district. But Plaskett, now hailed as a rising star in the Democratic Party, may owe her surprise win in no small part to pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, newly released emails show. Plaskett met Epstein numerous times after her entry into politics in 2014, visiting Epstein's office in the Virgin Islands and his New York City townhouse. She said in a deposition last month the meeting occurred after Epstein's conviction, after he was convicted on child sex crimes and was publicly known. But Plaskett nonetheless met the registered sex offender to solicit campaign donations for herself and Democratic committees. Though she had denied knowing Epstein contributed to her campaign, emails revealed in court documents show her directing a fundraising consultant to ensure Epstein is invited to her fundraiser. I would be grateful for his support, Plaskett wrote in the 2018 email. So this is well after he's been established as a child sex trafficker. Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Does...
But wait, I really have a lot to get to. But go
Okay,
on.
I just want to know this though. Does the Virgin Islands have like looser laws about consent
That's gonna come in.
and age of consent?
That's going to come in.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so this was well before that. Details of the relationship are revealed in court documents released as a part of the lawsuit in the government of Virgin Islands filed against J.P. Morgan. Emails released show that Epstein jumped at a request in 2014 to help Plaskett in her underdog campaign. Now, a lot of this is a long. Okay, so here Epstein first helped Plaskett's campaign at the request of Virgin Islands First Lady Cecile de Jong, according to emails. Now, this is an email here, and in which de Jong says, "Your help is needed. We are trying to get Stacey Plaskett elected to Congress." De Jong, who also worked for Epstein's office manager, noted that Plaskett's strongest primary challenger, then Virgin Island legislator Sean Michael Malone, had criticized Epstein's sexual exploits at a Senate hearing a week earlier. She said, "He is nasty and needs to be defeated." Adding, "We would have a friend in Stacey," referring to Stacey Plaskett. Okay.
okay.
So this goes through the 75. They needed 75,000. All of the money that. So this is an article on this. Now, this on its face is obviously bad. Correct.
Yeah, but somebody could chalk it up to like, hey, they'll just take money from anybody.
Yeah, like she wasn't aware. Now this makes it explicitly.
Or even if she is, she's like, fuck it, money's money. You know?
I mean, I guess it's just the dirty world of politics. But now here's where we get into. Now, this is a big problem that I have with this. Now, Stacey Plaskett on her own is enough to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Whatever. That's a whole. But what people I don't think realize, and I've said this before on here, is the actual nature of Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking and abuse. They think for some reason, because the media kept portraying it as if he was getting, 17-year-old, just barely legal girls to party with elites. That's not what this was.
Right.
So if you have an intimate relationship, now Plaskett was working with Epstein for over a decade. Intimately, like
Sure.
the law firm that represented him, to multiple facets of his business and his criminal enterprise. So,
okay.
So this is okay. So the next thing.
So now, what interest did he have in getting this lady into power?
Well,
in the Virgin Islands,
exactly. So now,
in
let's
particular,
take a look at this little article. Former Virgin Islands Attorney General says governor pressured her to allow Jeffrey Epstein onto the island. A former U.S. Virgin Islands Attorney General revealed in court documents made public Thursday that the governor of the territory pressured her to give convicted child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein special treatment. In July, statements under oath, Denise George testified that the Democratic governor, Albert Bryan Jr., pressured her in 2019 to issue a special waiver to Epstein, which she denied to do, that would allow him to enter the Virgin Islands, and despite his sex offender status, that prevented his entry, according to court documents.
Gotcha.
Now, this Denise George was then fired by the governor unexpectedly 4 days after her office sued J.P. Morgan Chase over its dealings with Epstein. So that's odd.
Okay.
She says, my thoughts about that even then, in particular then, it did not sit right with me. Because my thing is, first of all, why is the governor, getting involved in a matter of law enforcement or the attorney general based on law, that is, and that he was doing so on behalf of a convicted sex offender, sexual offender, child predator, Jeffrey Epstein. So,
and this is the governor of the Virgin Islands.
Yes.
So,
now let's get into this a little more.
Okay.
What did the Virgin Islands know about Jeffrey Epstein? All right. So
this is from Intelligence.
This is this is New York Magazine, I believe.
Okay.
New York Magazine, the Intelligencer portion. So this is just going to profile that the governing bodies of the Virgin Island and Jeffrey Epstein had an intimate relationship, and it goes through a bunch of these things. But the one that I want to get to is the First Lady. Now, this is probably the most damaging parts of the exhibit are the communications between Epstein and Cecile de Jong, the former First Lady of the Virgin Islands. De Jong had managed companies for Epstein until 2007, and in return, he paid the tuition for her and the governor's children, according to the... Okay.
And this is who was communicating
with Stacey Plaskett.
Stacey Plaskett.
Yes,
okay.
This was her... sort of mentor or whatever.
Who he wants to get into power.
Yes, exactly.
For some reason.
So this is the thing, is JP Morgan is accusing her of aiding Epstein by sending him the draft language of a bill that would restrict the travel of convicted sex offenders like him. Emails show that she did send him draft language in 2011 and asked, will this work for you? This is legislation going to the fucking... And this is what the fucking this is how they're conducting business.
I think it's corruption in a way that a lot of people can't even imagine, which is like it's not just like somebody getting away with something.
No.
This is
people influencing the fucking laws
because
they are paying for people's campaigns and tuitions and fucking vacations. So,
but it's like, hey, will this work for you? Like, I do want my pedophile friend to be able to get here and do pedophile stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So
what I'm saying. This goes beyond any type of normal corruption. It goes,
will it work for you? In follow-up emails, Epstein made further tweaks to the language that would have allowed him to take longer trips out of the territory and afforded him more privacy. If we are not careful, a list of who I stay with should violate my privacy, restrict my business and livelihood, he wrote. So this De Jong character, who is advising Stacey Plaskett in her campaigns, is also asking Jeffrey fucking Epstein whether or not the laws that they're writing are going to be okay with
That's what
him.
I'm saying. It's fucking crazy.
Okay.
I mean, so they're basically consulting the world's most famous the pedophile
And if somebody's working and the idea that this woman had no idea what he was into and is also asking him if these sex offender laws are going to be okay with him.
Will work for you?
Yeah, this is before he was actually convicted, when she was first working with him.
Okay.
So she had prior knowledge. So this is what I'm saying is
they all knew what was going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, so by proxy, you have Stacey Plaskett asking for campaign donations as late as 2018 explicitly. And this was like just before he was arrested and killed, killed himself.
Okay.
Now,
or whatever happened, he's found that fucking island from The Prisoner.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that
He
show?
Was extradited. The fucking.
That was where they took the guy from Secret Agent Man or something.
Yeah, and he just got to live.
Yeah, he had to just live with all the other CIA assets on a weird island where a bubble would chase you. What a dumb thing.
Okay, so now in all of this, now Stacey Plaskett's my direct object of my ire.
Yeah.
But but I'm painting this picture that this De Jong lady, the First Lady of the Virgin Islands, that was intimately working with both Stacey Plaskett and Jeffrey Epstein pre and post his conviction as a child sex trafficker.
Yeah, okay.
Now, again, I want to point out what the media keeps and kept. Now it's not even in the media somehow. We had a billionaire fucking pedophile ring exposed, and literally one woman was named, and that was the only one that was because she couldn't get out of it.
Cameras went out, guards fell asleep.
Yes,
it's over.
Exactly, it's done. Sorry, it died with him.
No more story.
Remember
what they kept saying the whole time during the Ghislaine Maxwell trial? Ordinarily, we'd take a person like this and use her to go higher up the chain, but in this case, he's already gone.
Yeah,
he was the only
one. And he
one,
killed himself.
Yeah. Oh well.
But my thing is when you're looking at what these people must have known about Jeffrey Epstein, and these are people in our fucking Congress and in our governing bodies.
Yeah.
You have to look at the actual nature of Epstein's crimes. Now, this is going to bring us to a little article by the Daily Beast. New Jeffrey Epstein victims, including 11-year-old girl, come forward. Now, this is not the 17-year-old, 18-year-old, barely legal bullshit.
Yeah, they tried to spin it that way for a long time, which, again, you got to wonder who has the
Who's
power
doing this?
to do that type of a...
Exactly.
of a spin, yeah.
Who's filtering what comes out and what is censored in these publications?
Because obviously, somebody very powerful wants this to be the narrative. You know?
Exactly.
And so...
And why do they want that?
I've been seeing this more and more the past few months where people are coming out and going, look, no. This was 10, 11, 12-year-old kids. You know, like this wasn't something of like, oh, they're wild rich guys and they're into, 17, 18-year-old girls. No.
Which is the picture that was painted.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a Florida woman alleges Jeffrey Epstein sexually assaulted her when she was 11 years old, is among 9 accusers who have filed a new lawsuit against millionaire pedophile's estate. Okay, this goes on, but 5 of the women in the lawsuit, Now, let me see here. Okay. Some of the most shocking claims detailed in the new suit relate to the woman from Tennessee who alleges abuse started in 78. So this is all the way back in 1978.
Yeah.
When she was 13 and continued for a long period. Epstein sexually assaulted, abused, battered, and raped her multiple times. This assault is the oldest abuse allegation against Epstein, who would have been 25 at the time and working on Wall Street. Now, a woman from Florida alleges in the suit that in 1993, when she was just 11 years old, Epstein sexually assaulted, abused, battered, and digitally penetrated her on 3 separate occasions. She also alleges Epstein forced her to perform oral sex on him, according to the lawsuit. Now, this is not the picture that was painted in mainstream media about what was going on his island. Mostly because people like fucking Bill Clinton are on that island 50 times.
Sure, yeah.
And people like George Bush and people like, we all know the names. We all know the names. So now this is the true nature.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, yes. This is the true nature of what was actually going on there, right? Now, another level of this, if we want to go a little further.
You're like Geraldo tonight.
Is Epstein mystery millionaire model agency boss who had key info on Epstein's scandal suddenly vanishes like a ghost without a trace.
Hold on, wait, sorry. Millionaire model agency boss who had key info on Jeffrey Epstein's scandal suddenly vanishes like a ghost. Okay.
All right, now,
I just want to make sure I absorb that. But, okay.
Now, on the original allegations by, what's her name, Gouffre, who was like the first one to come,
I remember her. The original one that started it all.
She started it all.
First of his victims to speak out.
Speak out in Florida, where he was actually convicted. So what she was alleging is, and she was the one with the pictures of her with Prince Andrew and all of these things.
Yeah, right.
So she was a confidant of Epstein's eventually, but it first started where she was asked to be a masseuse when she was like, 14, 15 years old and started, getting raped by this guy. And now, but what she had said is in the London offices, in the European offices, he would use a modeling agency over there to procure 11 and 12-year-old girls for his sexual appetites.
Okay.
This is the guy that allegedly provided these things.
He's part of the network.
He's a big part of the network. But he vanished.
He's like the Jimmy Savile of this operation.
How could anyone find him?
Right. Yeah, right.
They can only go through every single fucking thing you've ever done, ever, all the time.
Right.
It's impossible to find somebody. So let's
Isn't it funny how sometimes they just have such trouble with this stuff?
So
and it's
hard.
Like, yeah, but
especially a huge millionaire fucking model boss.
Chris Dorner. Remember that guy who killed a cop and disappeared into fucking thin air?
Yeah.
He's in the middle of the goddamn wilderness in a cabin. They found him in like 3 hours.
That day he was dead.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
He was fucking dead.
They burned him alive.
Oh, yeah. They burned him alive in a cabin.
That day.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a little far-fetched at the demand. But, okay, let's take a look at this article. Jeffrey Epstein's fixer pal, who allegedly had key info on the U.S. sex fiend, had disappeared like a ghost, according to reports. Jean-Luc Brunel. Now, everyone should know that name if you're ever into fashion at all. Jean-Luc Brunel is a very well-known name in the fashion industry.
Is it? Okay.
Was accused in U.S. court documents of procuring young girls for the American pedo, accusations he had always denied. Now, there's one part where I would, so shocking court documents previously emerged suggesting Brunel offered Epstein 2 8-year-old girls to sexually abuse. Messages left for the American pedo on his alleged fixer or by his describe a female 2 times 8 years old willing to give Russian lessons. Now this isn't okay. Epstein victim Virginia Roberts, who is actually Virginia Giuffre now, also claimed in court documents that Brunel would bring young girls ranging to ages as young as 12 to the United States for sexual purposes and to farm them out to his friends, especially Epstein. What
are Russian lessons?
Who knows? These guys are all no, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it probably means they're Russian kids. I don't know because these people
who knows? They have all these weird codes for whatever they're wanting to do. Yeah, we don't even really need to look it up, but probably shouldn't actually.
Yeah. What the fuck is this?
What is going on there?
Yeah, what is this? Huh. Hold on a second.
Kind of dig it, but
yeah, it's pretty cool.
There's a commercial on our background.
Yeah. Hey, Shopify, everyone.
Go get it. Yeah. There we go. I mean, they're paying us for that.
Yeah, that was just a quick ad spot for them. All right. Last but not least, Jean-Luc Brunel, who we were just talking about. Yeah?
Yeah.
You remember this man? We were just talking about him. Hey, guess what happened to him? He was abducted. Modeling agent linked to Jeffrey Epstein found dead in prison cell.
Oh, okay.
His death comes less than 3 years after Epstein was found dead in his prison cell in New York while he was awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges. Now, a French modeling agent linked to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his prison cell on Saturday. It appeared that Jean-Luc Brunel, 75, died by suicide because he was discovered dead from hanging himself with sheets. Oh, hey, the same exact thing that happened to Epstein.
They've been making people kill themselves like that for a million years. I mean, that's the oldest trick in the book, right? There's like...
But, yeah, I mean, is this... So, my point, all of this coming back to Stacey Plaskett, who grandstands and has this fucking attitude of moral superiority to everyone she talks to. She condescends everyone constantly. She's always talking about being, the fucking purveyor of equality and all this bullshit. Hey, you were fucking involved with a guy who was banging 8-year-olds, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And now she wants to join the woke brigade.
Yeah.
And
fuck you, motherfucker. And all you other motherfuckers that do this shit too. Fuck you.
This is the same thing with what I was talking about with the fucking band program. It's like they were all over us about fucking smoking weed and having a drink on the weekend or fucking doing this or doing that, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, they're running a dark fucking secret network of kid sex.
Yeah.
And
here's the other thing. Now, let's look at some of these throwing her voice into that lady's mouth. Tablet typing skills. Dismal. Don't board learn from Penn State and FedGov. I don't know. You're type. Yeah, okay. Now, here's another thing, though. This is another part of this. Is I put that fucking piece together in 5 minutes today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not an investigative journalist. Why the fuck isn't anyone putting these things together and putting them out? Right. There's a reason. There is a reason. Why is a movie that isn't even about what they say it's about, like Sound of Freedom, that just is about kids being sex trafficked, smeared and tried to be fucking erased and marginalized? Why are these things going on? There's a reason. It's because this exists at the highest levels of fucking governments and influence and entertainment and clergy. And this has been well known forever. My fucking dad used to tell me this shit when I was a child.
Yeah.
Like that they did this, that they used kids to blackmail politicians once they got to a certain level of power.
Oh,
because
sure.
they had to have insurance that they would play ball when they needed to fucking play ball.
I mean,
this was in the 80s. You know what I mean? This is way before any of this shit.
And it's been hinted at in how many movies and books and whatever the fuck, or outright told about or whatever.
I mean, the Catholic Church is the biggest obvious. I mean, they've been out and out doing it for fucking ever.
It's like their whole thing. Yeah.
That's like what they're known for now.
Right.
That's like an open and standing joke about them. Like, oh, you didn't get raped by your priest. It's like, haha, but also, what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
But we just have priests raping children. And fucking, yeah. And then the Jimmy Savile thing where it was like, he had all these, he was wildly wealthy and fucking rubbing elbows with royalty constantly and all this shit and building children's hospitals and then like allegedly killing kids, having sex with young toddlers and kids. And
Jimmy Savile, you're talking about?
Yeah, Jimmy
I mean, it was
Savile.
100% confirmed that after his death, I mean, they found all kinds of fucking evidence of his pedophilia and him supplying children for, like elites in their
networks.
society. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
And I know I don't want to beat this into the ground, this whole subject, but dude, this is a real fucking subject that needs to be looked at.
It's pretty crazy because it persists because of how unpleasant it is to talk about.
Yeah, because
so
nobody wants to talk about it. Or I think even more than that, I think people don't want to believe that it's real.
That's too, yeah. It's inconceivable to most, I think. You know what I mean? And is there a problem or no?
I fucking hope not. No. I thought we were stopped on Facebook. I was like,
oh shit.
But no, we're going.
We won.
Connie says, I wanted to get my son into acting when he was around 5 because he was so charismatic and whatnot. My dad said, Connie, no, Hollywood is just a bunch of pedophiles. That was over 30 years ago.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
well, a lot of people have known this for a long time. I mean, fuck, this goes back to goddamn Wizard of Oz, Judy Garland.
Yeah, Judy Garland,
I mean,
and what's his Mickey Rooney. Those two were like the hot topic of the day, and both of those two were Shirley Temple.
Oh, yeah, I have to think there was stuff going on there, right? I mean,
yeah.
She's basically, there's the videos of her like fucking doing like Betty Boop style dances
like
for old businessmen
shit
on a plane and shit. Like,
dude, I'll tell you what, man. Maybe next week, and like I say, now JT says keep bringing it up no matter what. I mean, if you guys don't mind, because I have, it's odd. I'm gonna say this: before the fucking movie Sound of Freedom came out, I had gotten a hold of Vinny and been like, dude, man, I'm back down the fucking rabbit hole. Because neither of us had been in this world for a while. We'd both kind of just been like, yeah, it's going on. We both were familiar with the Franklin cover-up, the documentary Conspiracy of Silence, the whole fucking Gunderson report, Ted Gunderson, and all the suspicious deaths of the investigator. We were both very well aware of that.
And that similar things that go all the way back to ancient Egypt, you know?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Death cults So, but for whatever reason, suddenly this stuff started coming up on my news feed or on my suggestions. And I was like, what is this? And these are people that have survived literally what we're talking about. Ritualistic, torture and abuse, sexual abuse at the hands of elites. And this one case I may profile on here is a woman named Annika Lucas, who was sold into this by her own mother and basically was abused by aristocrats. And this was in Belgium, and it ties into this other fucking case. It's insane. The way that this is all there documented and everyone could just look at it, and yet nobody see. This is what I was going to say. I think most people can't handle thinking that the world is that world.
Yeah.
Like they just can't have that being, what their world is really predicated on, because that is the foundation sort of. You know what I mean? If you look at it in one way, it's like that's who runs everything. They're kept in line by being blackmailed. Then they're also brought up in this so that they then they perpetrate it on the next generation. It's like this weird. So it is sort of what our entire society is kind of predicated on currently.
Yeah, and it is kind of just like a virus that's loose. And
yes,
it self-replicates.
And it needs to be. Exactly.
Yeah.
And everyone knows abusers abuse. This is just fucking common psychiatric knowledge.
And they normalize it. And
they do everything that they can to fucking, obfuscate anything that sort of points towards it, and, muddy waters when it needs to be. And these people are, the girl Annika Lucas's story is fascinating because of where she went eventually. It's very, so I don't know. Yeah. I didn't want to, yeah, Kathy O'Brien, her story is fucking horrible. Tony says sunlight is the best disinfectant. Plus, we've known this forever. Yes, that's my brother. Yeah, Shirley Temple wrote a book. Okay, I didn't even know that. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't want to keep on, the same subject, and because this is supposed to be a comedy show. We're doing here.
It's a very odd combination of things that we do, of like trying to solve like literally the worst problems known to man, and then just like making dumb jokes about
and then
fat
ripping
people,
on fucking disc golfers.
Right? Yeah.
Watching some girl fall off a horse,
harassing trans disc golfers. Yeah,
yeah, it's idiotic.
we do
what we're
both.
doing.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean it's whatever.
But it's fucking crazy.
It's an issue that's hard not to care about, and so yeah.
Yeah. So all
so
right.
but then I think the main point too is that that's your representative government.
Yeah.
That's how it works behind the scenes. They send the pedophiles the laws while they're writing them to make sure that it'll work out okay for them, and there's a loophole somewhere that they can use. I mean,
it's insane.
That's beyond. Some guy with oil interests buying off a fucking senator.
That's what I mean. It's way worse than
you know,
people would like to think.
Yeah,
it's,
right.
It's not the typical corruption. This is not like you said, the boss hog boys trying to fucking skim money and strong arm businesses for protection. Or this is like
it's not getting a fucking
this is not
an
that.
asphalt contract. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? It's This
is some really really fucking dark shit.
Yep.
And I just think that it sort of needs to be, highlighted sometimes.
All right.
So yeah. Anywho,
the light on. This is the smooth transition light.
Yeah.
Whenever we're aiming for a smooth transition,
all right. Let's take a look at
we
this,
just want
shall
you guys
we?
to barely even notice. We put the
Look at
music
that.
on, we hit the light, and all of a sudden we're on a new topic.
Oh, hey,
what do
we got
got?
a phone call coming in.
Oh, okay.
Or did we miss it? Oh, sorry. I didn't have any volume. I don't think.
you see
I
who it
barely
was, or-
heard it. No.
Sometimes when we used to call,
Oh, yes, I can. We know who it was. Go ahead and
we-
call back. Hey, honestly though, that's the time to call.
Right? Yeah, we possibly
done with something,
would have allowed it this time.
Yeah.
But
Just don't call right in the middle of a presentation. It's beginning, because that's idiotic.
yeah,
But
let's talk about that, because there's people out there that just don't seem to understand this is not a real radio station where we have people to answer phones and stuff. You gotta pick your spots,
Yeah.
when we're
Now would have actually been a good time. I just didn't hear it because Vinny was doing a little music thing, and I thought it was part of the music.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
anyways.
none of us would have known that. So
now is not a good time because we're about to introduce a new topic. So you wait.
yeah, so now you wait until that's done,
Right.
And then,
And then you could give it
so
a
this
shot.
is. I just wanted to. Yeah. So now we're on to brighter things, like this.
What do you got? No.
Yeah. You know what?
See?
Let's go. Hey, you're on with Tom and Vinny. What's up?
Hello, Radioville. This is Supreme Commander, 72-star General Critchlow, lover of F10 Sweet High Fives and Bud Light.
And buttholes. What's up, brother?
Some buttholes, yes.
What do you got,
We're going to
pal?
change the topic? Is that what's going on?
What's that?
I think we're going to change the topic. Is that what's going on?
Oh, no. If you got something to say about that last topic, it was a long one. It was in depth. So what do you got?
It just seems like you guys keep going towards pedophilia.
Yes, we do. I was just saying that, right?
And, I was talking to you like last week about it, I think.
Yes, you were. It's an important subject, It's,
It is. I do not disagree. However,
there's something there that I need to,
all right, let's get to comedy, people. What do you say? Spread the scoop.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, cool. Thanks, buddy.
Good to talk to you.
All right, later, man. All right. Now,
I'm not speaking to him.
yes, no, I noticed.
Okay.
all right.
Now we can get into
Yeah.
whatever you had next, which I'm sure is thrilling. And
It is. Now, this is something that I've been curious about. Is this seems to be going on a lot.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a little scene. Now, you can't really tell what this is quite yet.
looks like it could be the inside of some kind of
I don't know, warehouse or something?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Let's give it a.
Yeah, what this actually is a Nordstrom in Topanga Mall in Topanga Canyon or whatever the fuck it is in California.
Okay.
Now, what we're going to see here is what I have been seeing and hearing is very, very typical in every city in California, in
Dude.
most cities across the nation. And people are wondering what the fuck is going on. Okay, let's just take a look at the scene here. It's just a 30-second clip of Topanga Mall, Nordstrom.
Okay.
Let's just take a look.
I'm interested.
Oh, well, look at that.
It looks like they're having a really crazy sale.
It really does, yeah. Look at this guy's like, I can't stop anyone. What do I do? Okay. Yeah, there's just gangs of criminals smashing stores to
That guy's
pieces.
not even wearing a mask.
Look, this guy won't fucking take that purse off because it's on the fucking table. He's like, fuck it, I don't care. It's a fucking Louis Vuitton bag. I got 7 now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this?
Well,
how is nobody being prosecuted?
What's crazy to me-
because here's the thing: I don't give a shit about crime that much, but when it's
yeah.
all out allowed. Well, you can't have a civilization, right?
And you like can't have a store anymore.
That's what I mean. You need. Are they? I don't understand.
We've been seeing this
what-
a lot the past couple of years, where it's like there seemed to be this this thing that just happened in the zeitgeist, where all of a sudden enough people realized, like, hey, if 40 of us just run into a place, what the fuck are they going to do? Which was always doable, but as the videos started coming out, it seems like it's gotten to this point that it's all over the fucking place. I look at those police scanner Facebook pages sometimes. I told you about that. And one of the ones you see constantly is there's a town near us called Oak Brook, and it's Oak Brook Mall. Oak
Brook's a very rich town.
Yeah, and it's somewhere where traditionally, historically, there was no crime. There was nothing going on. They had a murder in like.
Yeah, you go there because it's got an outdoor mall that's really cool. It's got a fucking.
Yeah, and it's all rich people, and there's.
It's very yeah. A lot of people would go there to feel rich for a few hours.
Sure,
and
sure.
buy a shirt.
They haven't had a murder since like 1938 or something.
That's
or
gonna
whatever.
change.
Yeah, but so anyways, I'll see constantly the Facebook things for the police scanners about Oak Brook Mall. Oak Brook Mall, 6 subjects, smash thing and grab this, whatever. It's always say between 5
It's
and 15
jewelry
people.
stores, Macy's,
Right.
Nordstrom.
Dude, it happens all
I know.
the fucking time.
That's what I'm saying.
And we see these videos all the time. And what it really makes me wonder is how is nobody and none of these big companies who don't give a shit about anyone, and I don't really give a shit about them either, but like you said, society is fucking collapsing around us at this point.
Yeah, that's the part.
Which I never really pictured myself as somebody like, hey guys, stop stealing from Nordstrom.
I know,
But, like,
exactly.
You know,
but when
I
it's
mean,
ramshackle across the country and nobody's being even pursued, much less prosecuted, this is what a lot of people on the right say, which again, I'm being forced into a position where I'm just on the right somehow. Because traditionally, I would be more in favor of old school Democrat lawmakers, you know what I mean, prosecutors and shit like that, because they did have more of a penchant to give leniency and
or attempt rehabilitation of some
yeah,
type.
exactly,
Yeah, right.
rather than just being heavy-handed. But now we have seen, or at least it's been being said that it's being seen, and I've seen some evidence of it, where these what they call, I forget what the fuck they call them themselves, really. But it's like these very, very progressive prosecutors, and they are refusing to prosecute crimes. It's very odd. I just don't understand what the end goal is, because first of all, if you say are in New York or LA or Chicago, like you see it, everyone there sees what's going on. The city is deteriorating. It's being given over to criminals. It is being, and so.
Well, it's weird.
Stores are not going to stay there, so then you don't have a city. So then you just are collapsing your own city. I don't get what the fucking end game. I don't understand what the logic is behind this.
Now, was there a time in our past where stuff like this was ever really happening? I can't think of an example, really, but you know,
maybe let's go to the comments for that. Was there a time, anyone in the history of the U.S. where things like this were going on?
But like I said, it's weird, and I think it's actually driven by these videos. It really is. Like
now it is, yeah.
Yeah, now
people are like, shit, dude, I could just go fucking steal $10,000 worth of shit.
And if you think about that,
in 5 minutes,
somewhere online, somebody's organizing this too, where it's like
George Soros.
Yeah, and him and Dick Cheney got together and cooked this whole thing up. That's a rough combination.
This smash and grab brought to you by Cheney Soros.
Right. No, it's Halliburton
they're coming in and rebuilding the stores with government no bid contracts. They're like, we'll get your goods back, and then the government owes them $4 billion.
This large group of urban teenagers performing some petty crimes in your store is brought to you by Halliburton.
Rebuilding by Soros Halliburton.
So no, it's a thing that it's weird. It's now out of the box, and it's just gonna fucking keep getting worse. I feel like because it's kind of cracking me up too, because I'm like, how have none of these big companies, like I was gonna say, that don't really care about, how have none of them figured out how to protect their bottom line? You never even see anyone trying. It's just like,
well, they can't because the laws there have been made. It's very weird. And this is funny here.
And this is why now you can't go to a fucking regular store half the time. You have to have an appointment. You ever try to go buy an Apple product? It's a fucking nightmare.
I just bought a suit the other day.
Everything in Walgreens is locked in
nice
a
fucking
cage
suit.
now. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No, I mean it's now here. It's funny. Tony here says, "Sadly, I agree. Me, the quintessential bleeding heart." Now this is funny because that's my brother, and we've had discussions and sort of arguments about things like this because we have differing views. I used to be more in step with what he's more into, and I have sort of drifted away because of things like this. But yeah, it's odd because I'm watching that happen more and more. People that I was in a first wave, there's another wave that came after that, and now there's more people. You see Bill Maher, which now a lot of people on the left are like, fuck him, but a lot of the people that used to be on the left are now with him, you know what I mean, in the center, which now has become right. It's very fucking weird.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know personally that without changing my beliefs, really.
You're a right winger now.
I just, without changing any of my beliefs, I went from some like artistic leftist kid at some point to, and this is really what people would call me.
Sure.
Was like, see, back, say in the early days of 9/11 was an inside job. You know what they called you for that?
Yeah.
A communist.
A communist. Yeah.
A communist.
Yeah.
So.
That was a left-wing conspiracy.
Right. Now, I mean, correct. So now, without changing any of my beliefs, following like pretty much the same content and the same stuff, a few years down the road, Homeland Security put out a fucking memo that described me to a goddamn T and called me a right-wing terrorist.
Yeah.
And okay, what?
Yeah, and dude, it's bizarre, man. I've been trying to grapple with this for years now. Like when I didn't change, like. Now, I will say this. A few things.
So my point is, people aren't really the ones changing. It's like this fucking wild, insane ball of perception that surrounds us. You know, it's just this cacophony of fucking political nonsense that's changing.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, I will say it was triggered by Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. That's where this started. I started seeing I considered
they were made by CERN, I think.
Yes.
In some kind of particle acceleration gone awry.
But yeah, it was at that time where I was sort of forced to examine my beliefs because I was like, okay, I hate this guy, but I am not on board with what they're saying now about the whole situation. You know what I mean? And so that was where it all started. But I was going to say I have changed somewhat on my views because I hadn't looked into them very deeply. I held views that I realized were like, just because that's what I wanted that to be. You know what I mean? So I have changed a little, but I think a lot of people are just the same as they were, like you or like a Bill Maher or something. He hasn't changed. It's just everything is shifting from the left to the far left. Anyways, Tony says, looking to flash mobs of teens in cities. Yeah, what are they calling that?
We'll just throw on like a compilation you can have running or something. I'm sure there's a million of them.
Yeah, because what are they called though? There's a specific name for those ones where it's like a teen attack or something. It's not a flash mob. They're like just go down there and jump on cars and kick in windows and shit. And they're just like,
we're getting so old now. You just asked me, what is that thing that's called? It's like a teen attack.
Yeah. But they're like, there's a name
That's like
for
something
it.
my mom would have said. What is it when the teens and I don't know, they're attacking and they think they call it something?
A teen attack.
A teen attack.
I think that's an anime that your old music teachers didn't do. Yeah, the R-rated version.
Right, that was, I lived a teen attack. Teen attack, I remember her.
Connie says, I haven't changed most of my ideals, but yeah, somehow the leftists or middle of the road people are considered right-wing fanatics now. The poor left. Vinny, do your Bill Maher impression?
I don't do a Bill Maher impression. Who said that?
That's Alex.
Okay.
Of course.
No, on my old show, I used to do a Bill Maher routine, but it wasn't an impression of him. I would just do jokes in his like style to open the show. Like I remember there was one, and I had the music, dun 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 dun, boom 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 boom. You know?
Yeah, oh yeah, I know.
And then so I would do it. So I would do a yeah, and I would do a joke like this. I think I can remember one. There was like Joe Glinowitz was a cop up in northern Illinois who faked his own death or like pretended somebody murdered him. He made a fake call and said, I'm in pursuit, and nothing of it. It all came out to be a complete lie. He was fucking on cocaine. He was laundering money from a children's organization. So that guy, Joe Glinowitz, was in the news, right?
Sure.
And so it would be something like this. It was like, you know, if you're going to steal money from an organization that helps keep kids off the streets, then you should have to because it's always that somebody has to do something with Bill Maher too.
Sure.
So if you're going to steal money from an organization that helps keep kids off the street, then you should have to steal or also take money from an organization that produces criminals. That's right, the public school system. Because that's what his jokes are. Yeah. It's you twist something, you turn it around, and then you say somebody has to do something, and then you give them a little snark right at the end, you know? And you just say some kind of cliche like, public school system is... I know I fucked that joke up somehow. That was not really but you get the point of it.
I got it.
I mean, it's...
Now, here's one thing that I'm going to start doing. Anytime you're talking, I'm going to mouth it, and so people think that we're into some sort of like symbiotic. I'm just be like you say something. You
think you're sentient, don't you? I've been doing this to you the entire time.
Oh yeah, but her eyes were like wild too.
Yeah. I know, she was in a trance completely.
She was in a fucking trance, and that's what I was going to say at the very beginning.
Oh, wait a second.
Bring it all the way back
like
around.
Down in the Caribbean, right?
Yeah, they're fucking voodoo priestesses.
I didn't even think about that.
Housing pedophile fucking billionaires and trying to make laws for him. And then you got a fucking weird young chick in back of you, spaced out, fucking mouthing every single word that you say.
What's her name again?
What's going on?
What's Stacy Plaskett drank some kind of blood out of a coconut.
Is that it?
Yes, obviously, and is in under that white voodoo priestess.
Because the white chick has to be.
This is the thing too.
Yeah.
She's actually like Transylvanian.
Oh yeah.
She came over, did a conversion into voodoo, and had her drink boar's blood out of a coconut. And
that sounds so good right now.
Completely keeping her. You probably would like that.
Yeah, dude.
Didn't we drink blood one time? Oh no, you wanted to. Yeah. That's right. We were
Nobody
gonna
would do it.
No, we were gonna, but
I was trying to get everyone to drink this cow's blood.
Yeah, for some reason we had a bunch of blood.
Just take a shot of it. I put 3 shots of cow's blood.
Yeah, we agreed.
I was like, come on, guys. And they were like, dude,
we stalled.
I don't know. And I was like, and eventually, they stalled enough to where I was like, yeah, I don't know either, actually.
It got like extra warm and it was out
it started
for a while.
smelling.
I'm like,
it smells quick. Blood smells quickly.
Yeah, now
it's
I kind of...
It's very irony.
I drink blood. Do you have any now?
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I have some.
Next week on the show, everybody tune in, drinking all kinds of blood. And,
yeah, so what are we at here?
I don't know. Do a quick little something just right at the end here, or what? Do we have something quick for the people? Everybody stand up. This is the big finale. I want you there at your home, on your feet, ready to be socks knocked off of them. So assume the position. What do we do anymore?
We don't mount up. Oh yeah, it's a boot scooting or something like that.
Let's also talk about the chat lingo. What is that? Sorry, some weird things playing. So let's. That was Red Bar. Let's talk about the chat for a second, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we used to do things like mount up. People would vibe out. This is season 2. We got a whole different thing going on in the chat. When you're feeling like you just kind of need, sorry guys, you just kind of need to, add to the ambience or kind of just hang out while we're on a break or all the things you guys do.
Yeah, in the chats.
So for now, what we want to see people doing is boot scooting, and what was the other one?
What was electric slide?
Yeah, you guys can electric slide. You can boot scoot. And you can root and toot.
Oh, that's right. You can root, you can toot, you can boot scoot.
Right.
And if you feel like it, an electric slide.
Right. So that's what we want.
That's fine.
That's what we want to see going on in there.
We're now painted as right wingers.
Yeah.
So we're rooting.
And we're leaning into
fucking tooting.
We're leaning into the country thing.
Yeah.
You guys have seen
Big
the
time.
intro. You love it. You won't stop talking about it, I know. But that's what we're going to be doing in there. So, yeah, guys, get country in the chat.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make us proud or some shit.
And if you don't do it, we're not doing a show next week. Oh, they're doing it. Okay, good. They're all doing it.
Oh,
Nice.
good.
All right.
We got some booting and the scooting, baby. All right.
All right.
So let's take a look at one thing. Now, this is going to be right-wingy. I will say that.
Okay.
But this was a little clip that I came across of Brian Callen of The Fighter and the Kid and many other failed podcasts at this point. But they were like one of the biggest ones at the beginning. They were huge. They were on Showtime originally, whatever, if you're not familiar. But Brian Callen is talking, and then there's a big wave I've noticed of like young black conservative guys that are like calling out the bullshit, the woke bullshit. It's a mass like they're
You've been doing surveys or something?
No, they're just all over the fucking YouTubes.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Well, I mean, this is a natural backlash. Like,
yeah, it's gonna happen.
You know, people are sick of the fucking lecturing. They're sick of the weakness. They're sick of the fucking
all the bullshit,
the twists in logic and stuff.
So
and,
let's take a look at this. But this is a statistic that I had been privy to at one point, and I thought it was very interesting then. But I hadn't heard it put this way, so we'll just take a quick listen to this.
We are doing a very angry old man show.
Yeah, we really are.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Settling in and getting all boots scootiny and fucking rootiny tootiny. And let's all
right, let's see what this guy's doing.
It's electric
You
slide
want to
in
hear a
this
really
clip.
wild stat, though?
Yeah.
We are at 193 countries. I believe we are number 3 in gun violence. Okay? But if you were to take the 5 cities where there is the most gun violence, Chicago, Philly, I think Houston, Chicago, Philly, Detroit.
St.
I
Louis.
don't know if it's LA, but I think it is
Just
LA.
sheer numbers.
Yep. Right. So it's all these cities. If you take out the cities and they all have the strictest gun controls. So it's St. Louis, Detroit, it's Chicago, it's Philadelphia, and I think it's Los Angeles. And they have the strongest, the very, very tight gun laws. Keep in mind they are blue. I'm just saying, not but if you were to take them out of the equation,
Can I say something?
not be.
Hold on.
He sounds like
The third, we would be the 189th. That's pretty significant.
So if you take those 5 cities out of our gun numbers, but I'm saying it to them, not you.
Oh, okay.
So if you take those 5 cities out of our gun violence numbers,
There's a commercial behind us.
We would go from 189 or from 3rd to 189th out of 193 countries.
Right.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that means the majority of the country has very, 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 very little gun violence, and all of the gun violence is in 5 cities.
Well, and you think about
in cities in general, but
even within those cities, like I'm in Chicago all the time. I do not feel unsafe in 90% of that city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot
good.
of it, maybe.
I was gonna say
70,
it's gotten a little more
60,
risque
70,
lately.
maybe. Yeah, whatever. What I'm saying is, like, even within those cities, it's like not that hard to avoid for the most part. I know people are unlucky sometimes, and shit happens anywhere. But
that's a fucked up stat, though.
Yeah,
that we go from the 3rd highest in the world to 189th by taking out 5 cities, and the fact that really those are the cities with probably the tightest gun control that we have. So
right,
it's sort of draw your own conclusions to whatever that says.
It was delivered. The information was delivered by someone that sounded like a combination of Jordan Peterson and Kermit the Frog, which is weird. And I don't know why he sounded like that. He must have been fucking sick or something, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. It's just now how Brian Callen's talking for some reason.
Affectations or
he's very gravelly. He does a very gravelly, and he right.
He does
like a lot of
and he has like that weird ironic thing about constantly talking about how he's manly too.
Yeah, like doing it, overselling it, but like being,
because the joke is supposed to be
that he is
like, I'm so confident that wouldn't it be funny if I worried about this?
Yes, exactly.
But I think it comes across more like he actually does worry about it a lot.
Yeah, like that's all he's thinking of at all times. It really is. Yeah, because he's like friends with Rogan, so he's been there since the beginning. He's friends with whatever,
and he's always talking about stuff like I do man stuff and blah blah blah, and it's like this,
or he'll do like I'm coming for you. Yeah,
he does a Bruce Willis kind of face or something like
I'm gonna work you. I'll beat you up. He does that type of shit. He's always, I do that.
That's weird. I don't know. Something's up with that.
What's up? Tom and Vinny, the Muppets in the balcony. Yes, that's JT. We're the two old Muppets in the balcony.
Oh, that's what we're turning into?
Yeah,
Actually,
because that's where people live. USA.
Kinda look
I'd like to
that.
carve out a non-compliant section of the chat on YouTube. Brian says, I'd like to carve out a non-compliant section of the chat on YouTube. I don't know what that means,
but hey, you know what else? Going back into that topic for a second before
What
we
do
go.
you got?
I've been hearing about, right? Keeping my ear to the ground or something. And
finger to the wind.
I've been hearing about that cities are not actually required to submit their crime statistics to the FBI.
Yes, something just changed. And now again, I don't want to play partisan politics here, but I believe it was a Democratic policy put forth that stopped requiring cities to report their gun violence statistics to the FBI.
Or
they can opt out.
Crime statistics in general, I think. And so what it would usually happen for anybody who wasn't like obsessed with every single aspect of government and society for many years like us, we'd actually have done this 100 times, but you could go to FBI.gov and you could search through crime statistics and
very specifically, you can really filter it.
Right, exactly. So you could find out specific questions, you could see different angles, blah blah blah, this and that.
By gender, by race, by class,
everything,
by age
pretty
group.
much. Yeah,
you could just really see. You can really parse out what the hell's going on there if you really want to.
So
take the time.
what would typically
if you're
happen?
A loser like us.
Yeah, and the reason we would use that though is because it was pretty much the most reliable source. It was we figured back then harder to call a complete phony or a fake or whatever when they're aggregating stats from small departments in every single department all over the fucking country.
Yes.
It's harder for them to fudge anything or fake anything or whatever.
We have statistics.
Right.
Which we should.
So anyways.
We should.
So we would look at that stuff. Now it's becoming, I don't know if it's going to be accurate anymore because what they're doing.
Why would Chicago report anything?
Yeah,
if they can opt out of reporting their crime statistics, why would they look like shit right now?
So here's the thing: is it's
as they usually do.
I think it has a lot more to do with mayors and high governors, probably whoever the hell, and it has a lot to do with them just simply not wanting to tarnish
their own reputation.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, if you're trying to be reelected,
you don't want to
being like the fucking FBI's most wanted of.
You don't want to be the mayor of
like,
Gotham City,
right? Yeah,
where
exactly,
it's like costumed characters breaking into Nordstrom every day, fucking smashing and grabbing everything.
Tuck this under the rug.
Yeah. So
FBI's calling. Tell them I'm out to lunch, pal.
I opted out. Hey, you were on with Tom and Vinny. What's up?
Hey guys. Love the show.
Thanks.
It's JT. And, first of all, I'm calling because I got to cash out. But before I do...
what do you got, kid?
All the subjects were great so far tonight. And I got to say, check out, because I've looked into it, like when it comes to like the human trafficking and shit like that.
Yeah.
Check it out. How much it costs to get into like that prevention. It is like
to get into
ridiculous.
What? To get into the prevention of that?
Prevention of like human trafficking.
Yes.
There's like...
Can you buy that?
It costs so much money to get the right licensing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
To get like...
For an organization
the right training,
attempting to do
like
that. Yeah.
And it doesn't help that you have charges. Every time you turn a corner, you owe another $1,500. And it's like, well...
Yeah, you're saying there's like sanctions and regulations and
you need the community involved, blah blah blah.
Yeah, the red tape involved.
And the communities don't have the money, even if they pull it all together for one person, they're still short by $900.
Where am I looking into this?
What?
Where am I looking into this? I'll just Google it.
Well,
Extreme cost
for
of
me,
preventing
I'm out here
sex
in
trafficking.
Southwest.
Yes, all right.
And I'm like, what the fuck? All the licensing that go into it to try and prevent it, or not prevent it necessarily, but try and seek out
like catch the predator.
People that are lost. They're just considered lost.
Yes,
but
I see
it's
what
like,
you're saying.
They've been taken.
All right. That's
know?
great.
But
All
anyway,
right, Vinny's blasting the gun in the air.
Everything
You
else.
hear that sound?
No, thanks for the tip, Johnny.
Yeah.
No, thanks for the tip.
Well,
I'm going to look into that because if that is a true
when
thing.
it was on topic,
We'll look
but now
into
I
it,
gotta
sir.
go to bed.
All
Getting
right,
late
you
for
do
me.
that.
I'm old.
I'm going to look
But,
into this and see
loving
if
the
there's
show.
something there. Thank you,
But,
brother.
Yeah,
I
keep bringing
said
it up.
we'll look into
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
All right.
Keep bringing it up.
All right, I will do it, man. Thank you for the call, brother.
All right.
All right.
Thanks. All right, and I wanted to say, Stephen Ryan in the chat says, if anyone doesn't know, Hey Jackass is an eye-opening crime statistics site for Chicago. Many reference points.
Cool.
So yeah, there
is now. But that the point is they're not going to have to report it after this.
Oh, I don't know if they're. Yeah, I don't know what source they'd be using.
But
to
yeah,
obtain
unless
them,
some citizen is compiling this and I don't know how the fuck you would. I guess I don't know. If law enforcement agencies and districts and shit aren't made to report their fucking their activity, that doesn't make any sense. So I'm gonna have to look into this. Maybe we're wrong about it.
It's very comic booky.
Yeah, that's very when the Penguin ran Gotham or something.
yeah.
You know what I mean? This all smacks of fucking lunacy to me.
Maybe we'll touch on this more next week.
We'll look into it this week for you guys. Because that's
Basically,
what we do. We
I
bring
heard,
you the truth.
I heard some other people talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
All right, good.
Okay. Anyways,
all
guys,
right, folks.
We'll be back.
That's going to do it. Hey, tonight we actually streamed to fucking YouTube, to Twitter, to Facebook. So now, if anyone likes one of those better, you can go there and you see all your shit in the chat, no matter where you is.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. All right, let me wake up these fish real quick. Get these guys going. Yeah, fucking shoot these fish, would you?
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
All right, peace.
And I'll have the gun again. Don't worry.